The stage is set at Phoenix International Raceway. 2 races to go in this NASCAR Nationwide Series season. 2 championship contenders at a track that presents one giant unknown. The early advantage goes to the guy second in points. Elliott Sadler will start ahead of the guy leading the points. A 5-spot advantage for Sadler over Ricky Stenhouse Jr., who starts 11th. We say this track is a big, giant unknown because the last time we were here, things looked quite a bit different out here in Phoenix. Immediately following the race here in Phoenix in February, Jeff Gordon headed out on the track and started digging it up. Since then, this 1 mile over has undergone quite a few changes. Not only did it get new pavement, but it got a whole new configuration. And drivers say what to expect today, no one knows. Now progressive banking in turns 1 and 2. The track is slightly longer because of this. A stretched out dog leg. There is more progressive banking in 3 and 4, but there is a lesser degree. And if you're looking for space, the front stretch is now just a little bit wider. Inside the ESPN Pit Studio with Rusty Wallace and Brad Doherty. I'm Nicole Briscoe from a beautiful spot up on Rattlesnake Hill. What to expect today with this new track? What do you think?
I think we're going to have a big problem in the dog leg. A lot of the drivers I've talked to, Nicole, are concerned about that area. It's a new design racetrack and nothing like it in the world, this particular design track. Quite different, but the drivers are telling me the dog leg area, Rusty, is that we're very, very concerned about. We have no idea what's going to happen. We have to go through their single file. Could be some big wrecks right through there.
Yeah, they've really got to get a second groove established in this racetrack. It's not quite there, so it's going to be very difficult if you get caught on the outside. A lot of guys very concerned with that. Patience is the key today. These guys got to take their time, give a little give and take with one another, not race too hard too early, go get it at the end of the day.
And if you're in this championship battle, patience is even more important. Dave?
Well, Ricky Stenhouse surely knows that patience is going to be a big part of the program today on this new track. But with a 17-point lead and maybe a reputation for being kind of an aggressive guy early in your career, how do you manage what you have to do today?
Oh, we're still going to be aggressive. We don't ever back down from that. But it's going to be a slick racetrack. We just got to be around at the end. We just got to make our car better and better every run and get this Ford drive one up to the front. You know, we started 11th, got a little loose, but you know, it's we plan on being there at the end. Just want to say happy birthday to Serena. Her birthday's today, and hopefully we can get a win for her.
The 6 car leads by 17 with 2 to go, Nicole.
Elliott Sadler is chasing Ricky Stenhouse Jr. He trails by 17 points, but we'll talk to him coming up in just a little bit because he is our in-race reporter. Go to ESPN.com and search in-race reporter if you have a question answered by our in-race reporter. There he is right there. And we got a chance to talk to him earlier about what he and some of the other drivers expect from this track.
It's a lot different. It's definitely not the Phoenix we saw here in the spring, so normal new track stuff. It's going to be slick. It's going to be a lot of fun for the fans, I think, to watch.
From where we started the practice to where the track is now is a lot better. So, you know, it's different, but it's going to be fun.
It's going to be a really fast track. You know, right now we just got to pay our dues, get it worked in, get rubber down, and make it so we can race on it.
I love the old racetrack. I mean, the more holes and, you know, bumps and nastier the pavement is, the happier I am. I like those kind of racetracks. We ran the whole practice on one set of tires right now, and I'm not even thinking about putting new ones on. So that's going to change up the race a lot. You know, we used to come in here and want tires all the time. You know, tires were key. It's not going to be like that for the race this time.
Something else to keep in mind here this afternoon. It is a bit of a stretch, but the points, the title could be clinched today.
Absolutely. They could definitely clinch his title, but, you know, if Elliott Sadler makes a mistake, he's got it. If Ricky Stenhouse makes a mistake, he's got it. One of these two guys have got to make a mistake because they're so equally prepared week after week. It's unreal, Nicole.
No testing. Just a few hours of practice here this weekend. A newly configured racetrack. How is it going to affect the championship? Let's get it started.
At this time, please rise and remove your hats as the Embry-Riddle Army ROTC presents our nation's colors. Please remain standing as Phoenix International Raceway Chaplain Ken Bowers offers today's invocation.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for the rich heritage that each of us possesses because of those who have lived before us. We thank you for those who continue to serve and protect us. And our prayer today is that we will be blessed with safe, entertaining racing. We thank you so very much for the perfect Arizona weather. And everyone joins me in being grateful by saying Amen.
Their new song, Little Blue Sky, is now available on iTunes. Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome Stealing Angels.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Qualifying took place earlier today. Eric Almirola will lead this field to green. 2 to go in this 2011 championship, and 200 miles from Phoenix are coming your way next.
NASCAR Nationwide Series at Phoenix is brought to you by Nationwide Insurance. Enter this code at codespotter.com for a chance to win one-of-a-kind NASCAR VIP experiences.
Saturday Night Football on ABC featured the top 10 showdown in the West as Andrew Luck and the Cardinals put their undefeated record on the line when they host Michael James and the Oregon Ducks. Saturday Night Football presented by Southwest Airlines, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. College football lives here. Shot from high above, and join Goodyear and NASCAR in saluting America's armed forces and give back by helping support our troops. Visit Goodyear.com, support our troops to learn more. Goodyear, the official tire of NASCAR. As this season winds down, all focus on the championship is, of course, on Elliott Sadler and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. And Marty Reed, if Elliott Sadler wants to win this championship, he's got a bit of work to do, and it's got to start now.
He's got to pick up some ground, that's for sure, Nicole. And hello again, everybody. Glad that you're with us. It basically shakes out like this. Elliott needs to average 9 points more in the last 2 races to win the championship because Ricky Stenhouse has the tiebreaker. And we've done some checking. Over the course of the season, only 4 times has that happened where Sadler has picked up more than 9 points. And if you notice, in those 4 races, 2 on the super speedways, 1 on the short track at Richmond, 1 road course, it is always when Ricky Stenhouse has had problems. So obviously, as we come to DJ and Andy, he's just got to stay clean.
Yeah, but he was talking about that aggressive nature that he had just in an interview a minute ago. That's probably what has Ricky Stenhouse the lead, is being aggressive all year. This might not be the place to do that. You may have to temper it back some here today. Being aggressive could get him in a lot of trouble, cost him a lot of spots, could be a real detriment to his championship hopes here today.
He's got a fast car. Mike Kelly, his crew chief, has done a great job with that. But his biggest job today is going to be coaching him and trying to keep him out of trouble. We've seen him do that before and done a good job. But really, honestly, he's gotten away with some things on the racetrack. Ricky has. He's been out of control a few times and gotten away with it. Like I said, scoring a lot of points. But today, they got a lot to lose. And don't be surprised if you hear Mike Kelly pulling those reins a little bit on Ricky.
Well, and you saw the time-lapse photography on the changes on the track. Let's talk a little bit more about the track, and specifically something that we saw in the tires, Andy.
Well, the tires have been holding up well. We've heard some mixed reviews from drivers. I was down in the garage area in both divisions today looking at tires, and the left sides look like they're graining a little bit. They're not wearing terribly. The right side's wearing a little bit. If they run a full gas run, you'll see them change 4 tires. But if they don't, if they run, say, a half a run, 25, 30 laps, don't be surprised if you see them change left side tire.
Yeah, this track itself is the key thing today. It's such an unknown. They don't know if the groove is going to widen out, how much grip are they going to have, where can they possibly race too wide. It is going to be exciting, and especially the start and restart. You don't really want to be on the outside.
So as we get ready to get this race started, we'll find out if Elliott Sadler can narrow the gap, or does Ricky Stenhouse keep the reins under control. Let's go down trackside. Fire the engines.
And now, for the most famous words in motorsports, please welcome back your Grand Marshal, Market Development Manager for Kimberly-Clark Professional, Jerry Simpson.
On behalf of Kimberly-Clark Professional and Wypall Wipers, drivers, start your engines.
Bring it up. Bring it up. Come here. Come here. Fire it up. I think Clint Boyer's dead. You ready? We're going to use 4725. Just keep it rolling. 725. Take care of your equipment.
So the engines have fired on the 43 cars that have made the field, and Elliott Sadler, as you heard just a few moments ago, there in the number 2. He'll start 6th on the grid. He'll also be our in-race reporter. He knows what he has to do today, and we'll talk to him about it when we come back here to Phoenix International Raceway.
Daylight come and we don't wanna go home.
Back here at Phoenix International Raceway, across the top of your screen is our starting grid, and Eric Almirola, his first pole ever here at Phoenix, his 5th career nationwide pole, first since July of 2007. 4 cars did not make the field. Jennifer Jo Cobb, Carl Long, Josh Wise, and Darrell Hard crashed hard. 3 to the rear, Ron Hornaday and Derek Cope for unapproved adjustments, and Scott Speed for missing the driver's meeting. Let's talk to our in-race reporter. That is the driver of the number 2, Elliott Sadler.
Hey, Elliott, Dale J at ESPN. You have a copy?
Yes, sir. How are you?
I'm doing great, buddy, and I'm sure you are too. Want to say congratulations on the birth of your first daughter, Miss Austin Sadler, came into the world on Monday.
Yeah, we're very blessed, man. We've had a great week. Just so proud of my wife and Amanda and Austin for coming in the world. Everybody's safe back at home watching the race. I want to say hello to them. Also my son Wyatt. So it's definitely been a great week for the Sadler family.
All right, buddy, our first question comes from our mailbag, and Eric in Buckeye, Arizona asks, does the new track configuration give you or Ricky an advantage today, and why?
That's a good question. We really don't know. I'm not avoiding the question, but there's so many unknowns right now with this racetrack. It's changed a lot in the last 2 days. As you put rubber on it, it definitely tightens up. Double file restarts are going to be hairy, but I just think whoever can keep the coolest head is going to have the best chance to get the best finish today.
You're talking about those restarts, Elliott. Is this a day that you've hoped that you've treated people well and have a lot of friends out there when you're starting on the outside?
Yeah, I actually talked to some of the guys about it. We might be on the outside now, but we're going to have a lot more restarts where we're going to have a chance to be on the inside some, and you might give it take a little bit now because it might come back to return their favor later on in the race. So hopefully this group will widen out some to create some good side-by-side racing, but I do think the first half of the race, you really got to take care of your equipment. Got to make sure you stay in the groove, because if you get out of the groove, we saw it in practice and qualifying, this is a very slick racetrack.
All right, buddy. Thanks for talking with us. You have a great day out there, and we'll talk to you later on.
You guys have a good day.
So obviously he is one of our 8 onboard cameras. Let's show you the others. We have one with our points leader, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., also with Danica Patrick, Trevor Bain, Justin Allgaier, Clint Boyer, Carl Edwards, and Stephen Wallace. Over the wall reporter is Mark Hollywood Armstrong. He's the front tire changer on that number 66. Hollywood, let's talk about the new track configurations, because pit road is different as well.
It's completely different down here, guys. A new pit road and also a new concrete area to do the stop in. But something I did notice is this concrete does not have a very rough finish, and that in itself could present some challenges for these crews today. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun. Man, I just can't wait to get it on.
All right.
Let's go, boys.
All right, we're ready, and you guys be safe down there. Let's get the last-minute update from pit road. Dr. Jerry Punch, you're up.
Guys, with 2 races to go, just 2 points separate the top 2 in terms of the Owners' Championship. The 18 car of Joe Gibbs Racing leading the 60 car of Jack Roush by 2 points. By the way, the margin was 48 points 5 races ago, but Carl Edwards has been a man on a mission. Now, the 18 car today being driven by Joey Logano. And Joey has 2 goals today. Obviously, goal number 1 is to win the race. Goal number 2, somehow, some way here at this racetrack, finish in front of the 60 of Carl Edwards. Jamie Little.
And Roush Fenway Racing has their sights set on multiple championships, but the goal for the 60 car, as you talked about, is to bring home the owner's title. I can't imagine a better racetrack for Carl Edwards to close that gap. He has 4 wins here at Phoenix, and for the 7th straight race here, he's starting on the front row. Let's go upstairs to Marty Reed.
All right, thank you, Jamie. If you want to bet on who's going to win this race, check the first 2 rows. Almirola, Edwards, Bain, and Boyer. The last 10 races here at Phoenix in this series have come from the front 2 rows. Pace car's got the lights off. You can see Eric Almirola has selected the low side of the track, and don't be surprised, that's going to be that way all afternoon long. Pace car has pulled off. They come out of turn number 4 here at Phoenix International Raceway, the penultimate round, and the Wypall 200 is green. A number of cars getting high out of the groove. They slid back. Look at this, 3 wide, coming up into turn 3. And look what happens. We have contact in turn 3 as well. The 11 of Brian Scott, the 7 of Danica Patrick. The 82 is also involved in that. That is Reed Sorensen. A log jam with 4 cars there. The 44, Jeff Green. There's the damage you see on Danica's car.
Yeah, a lot of damage there.
Yeah, we saw some 3 wide racing right through the dog leg. I'm surprised they didn't crash there.
Yeah.
And turn 3, man, that's just a tricky corner right now.
Yeah, and we'll be talking about that part of the racetrack all day. I noticed as I took some laps around here in a pace car where it goes downhill as you start into turn 3, carrying a lot of speed there, high braking area, and not much room. There's literally only 1 groove down there in that area.
A lot of damage to Matt Fromm's car. The 04 also of Tim Andrews involved in this. We mentioned the 44 of Jeff Green. As it all jammed up. And everybody was telling us, DJ, it is basically single file through that corner.
Yeah, and as Andy pointed out, I couldn't believe when I was looking back on the back stretch back there through the dog leg that they were already 3 wide through there. And you can't even get into to turn 3 2 wide right now. Let's see what happened here. Yeah, and we've seen this on the old track, actually. This happening early on. You just get in there a little bit too hot. I really believe because of it going downhill now that it's going to be even a bigger problem.
See the contact with Fromm there in the 39. Damage to Danica.
Things just kept happening.
It looks like Brian Scott, his car really snapped around getting in the corner. I don't know if he got any help or not.
There you go. No pressure. Go get that 89 there. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God. Look at that.
Keep coming there. Hold the brake. Just hold the brake. You'll be okay here.
I believe that was Reed Sorensen, wasn't it?
Hold
The 82 looked like he got in too hot and got into the back of Brian Scott.
Yeah, he hit Brian Scott and turned him right. Man, that was a bad angle there. That just caused everybody to have to check up. There's just nowhere to go.
And Brian Scott has been coming off a series of very good runs lately, including a career-tying best 3rd at Chicago and a 5th back at Charlotte. There's the work going on in Danica's pit as they're trying to straighten out that crumpled left rear fender. Stay with us. Well, we're back here at the brand reconfigured Phoenix International Raceway. Let's take a look at our Goodyear track facts, and literally everything on there is new, DJ.
Everything is new, and that's what's going to create a lot of problems here today. But I think the biggest thing is we'll hear us talk about the dog leg in back. That is actually a turn now, where before it was just a little bit of a turn back there, kind of a D shape, but this is a full turn that you have to make.
And one thing that doesn't show up there on the track facts is the width of the groove. The track's plenty wide and it's got great banking, but the width of the actual racing surface, usable surface, is very narrow right now. And that's one reason we just had this accident.
And let's go back and show you again from high above. And remember, everybody was talking about how you had to be single file pretty much going into turn 3, and obviously we weren't.
Yeah, they're far from that. You can see it starts up here with the 31 and the 12. The orange and yellow car there, they get sideways, but they were 3 wide back there, had to check up a little bit. Fortunately, Reed Sorensen didn't get checked up and into the back of Brian Scott, and he was hard into the outside wall.
Total of 8 cars involved with some kind of damage in this first lap incident. Danica Patrick is back into pit road. That's what's left of the 11 of Brian Scott. All right, while we've got a moment as under this caution, let's get an update on the championship and how the 2 contenders did. Vince?
Well, Marty, avoiding trouble will be key for both these championship contenders, and we expect to see plenty of trouble today. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Elliott Sadler, a 17-point difference between the two coming into this race. Now, Sadler has outperformed Stenhouse in 3 of the last 5 races. He's finished better than Stenhouse in those, but still trails by 17 points. Now, Stenhouse leads and has won a couple of times this season. Sadler has not. He knows he's running out of time. The 2 team believes they can still win the title, but they need to trim 9 or 10 points off that deficit today. His first win of the season would certainly be right on time for Elliott Sadler here at Phoenix. Let's go over to Dave Burns.
Vince, Ricky Stenhouse did not have the qualifying lap he was expecting, but it wasn't disastrous. It wasn't so bad that he would have been caught up in that first wreck. Just think about it. If he'd been 20th or something like that, it might have been so much worse. Crew Chief Mike Kelly, in his pre-race pep talk, began with the talk about qualifying today.
I know you didn't get the qualifying position you wanted, but you know you've got a good race car and you've been the best guy here all weekend. We've got to get through this first 150 laps taking care of that race car, give and take all day long with lap cars, race cars, everybody else out there. You just got to be really smart today, bud. It's the biggest day for me and you all year long. We got to make today count.
Big day is the understatement of the day for the 6 team. They are 2 races away from the NASCAR Nationwide Series Championship.
Cleanup continues here at Phoenix International Raceway. We'll step aside quickly. When we come back, we'll go back to Green Flag Racing. Back here at Phoenix, just about ready to go back to Green Flag Racing. Here are the cars that are behind the wall now. Carter, Chapman, Jeff Green, Brian Scott, Fram, and Andrews. And for Brian Scott, we can tell you he has been released from the Infield Care Center. Entered today with top 12 finishes in 4 of the last 5 races. But it won't be so good today. On the front row, it'll be Eric Almirola, again taking the low line on the inside. Then Carl Edwards, Clint Boyer, Trevor Bain, Sam Hornish Jr. That is your top 5. Pace car pulls off, and they come down the front straightaway as we get ready to go back to Green Flag Racing here at Phoenix International Raceway. Through the dog leg, we're heading for where we had our problems on lap number 1. That's Almirola out front.
He got a nice jump there, and you see Clint Boyer's taking over the 2nd spot from Carl Edwards right now. Just can't get going on that outside lane yet.
A little bit of contact there as everybody's jockeying for position. In the old configuration, you couldn't have had that many cars that wide.
Kenny Wallace hit the wall pretty good with that right side.
Scraped that right side is right, Andy, so we'll keep an eye on his car. And here's the battle for 4th as Justin Allgaier goes underneath the 12.
Now, Allgaier's been pretty aggressive at the start of this race. It's like he's got a fast race car, wants to show everybody.
Yeah, it looks like there's been a lot of give and take in the beginning here. It looks like Allgaier's doing a lot of taking.
Well, it was interesting. He said he loves these, as he called it, oddball tracks. And he's showing it here early.
Trevor working the outside.
Side by side, they managed to make it through that dog leg. And there's Trevor now in front of the 18 by just about half a car length. Right alongside there is the 30 of James Bushers. He's trying to come up underneath as well.
Yeah, Trevor Bain's up in the area right there that I don't think you want to be yet. They're going to take some time to get a second groove worked in there. He only lost 1 spot so far being on the high side.
That's 8th, 9th, and 10th with Logano leading that pack. Oh, how about this? The 2 championship contenders side by side. And Ricky Stenhouse Jr. said, yeah, I'm still going to be aggressive. And he just showed us.
Yeah, Ricky's got a really good car from practice. Been one of the best cars all weekend.
Yeah, I saw him here on Thursday whenever they had pretty much a 4-hour open practice session, and he was really fast. He was as consistent as anyone watching throughout the day, even more so than Carl Edwards and some of the Cup guys.
So give 6th position right now to Ricky Stenhouse Jr. As we continue to watch this, Dr. Jerry Punch is caught up with Brian Scott.
And a very frustrated Brian Scott. Brian, your Toyota done for the day. What happened?
Well, I haven't seen the replay, but from what I hear, I guess Reed Sorensen was just going below the yellow line and passing cars in the dog leg, and he was trying to be Superman going into turn 3 on the apron, and he got into us, hooked us, and we went hard in the wall and caused a big wrap on the first lap. You know, it's a shame. Everybody, I thought, knew that you had to be really careful here. We weren't sure how well two-wide racing was going to work, and honestly, I did not expect anything to happen on the first lap. I was just going to log laps, let it sort out. You know, we had a pretty good Charlotte Toyota in practice and everything. We didn't qualify where we wanted, so we were just going to use the whole race to try to work our way forward, and can't even complete a lap. It's sad.
8th in points and done for the day after 1 lap, guys.
His 5th DNF of the year, the 4th due to crash. Action back out on the track right now. The battle for 13th, the 38 of Jason Leffler right now, as he's got Mike Bliss in the 19. Here comes the 20 of Ryan Truex. Truex still has an outside shot for Rookie of the Year. He's only 3 points behind the 2 that are tied, with Blake Cook and Timmy Hill holding down that tie. Talked to Mike Bliss before qualifying today, and he said he will be back in that 19 car next year here in the Nationwide Series. There goes Leffler looking to get underneath 81 of Blake Cook. And Truex trying to get by him as well. So there's 2 of the Rookie of the Year contenders.
Yeah, and that's opportunities that you look for on a track like this. When someone in front of you can make that pass, open up the door for you, you want to be right there to take advantage of that. This 20 car looks pretty good right now, Vince.
Well, and as Marty noted, in the heat of the battle for the Rookie of the Year, and this is the final opportunity for Ryan Truex to impress. He will not race next week at Homestead. So it's been a good opportunity for Truex this year. He's run with a couple of good teams, Michael Waltrip Racing, and of course, this Joe Gibbs group. Team reminding him right now, be patient. We want to keep all 4 corners on it till the end.
Now, one guy that is definitely being a little aggressive is the 31 of Justin Allgaier. He's putting a lot of pressure on Carl Edwards right now in that battle for 3rd. Of course, Carl looking at this more of a training session perhaps for tomorrow's big race where, of course, the Sprint Cup is at stake.
Yeah, there's a lot here. You know, obviously trying to win this Owners Championship. As you see now, he's just going to move over and let Justin Allgaier have that spot for the time being. That won't happen later in this race. But, you know, Carl's also, he wants to learn, you know, right there, going down all the way through the dog leg, down the apron part of the track. It is legal to go below the yellow line here. So he's just learning as much as he possibly can, see what the tires do. How does this racetrack change?
Yeah, you bring up the tires. I'm watching these lap times, and the times are actually getting faster every lap. As a matter of fact, Ricky Stenhouse just ran the fastest lap of the race last lap. So these, you know, tires are holding up really well, speed-wise.
And you can be assured that these guys in Cup action are watching this broadcast today with more keen interest than normal. Jamie Little, what are you hearing down there?
Well, Carl Edwards is really using this as like a test session for tomorrow. You see right there next to Jack Roush, you can't see him very well, but his Cup crew chief, Bob Osborne, is atop the pit box. He's been here since the start of the race. You see him there. Thank you, Jack. He is taking notes, and Carl Edwards did tell him on the radio, all right, let's take good notes for tomorrow. Let's really keep an eye on things. I think note number 1, guys, the outside line, not good on restarts.
Well, right now he finds himself in the 4th position. He's 2.4 seconds behind the race leader, and that has been Eric Almirola. He has been there since the start of the race. He's led all 22 of the laps that we have now run here at Phoenix. There's a good look at Eric, as there's the other 4 that are trying to track him down. A lot of racing action coming up this weekend on ESPN and ESPN2. The Automobile Club of Southern California qualifying tonight at 12:15 a.m. on ESPN2. Now, everything else on the schedules for tomorrow. NASCAR now at 9 a.m. Eastern on ESPN2. The Cobalt Tools 500 at Phoenix at 2 o'clock Eastern on ESPN. And the NHRA Finals, 7 o'clock Eastern. Top Fuel and Funny Car, that's going to go down to the wire. You don't want to miss that. That's 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. And NASCAR Now will recap the day, 10 o'clock Eastern on ESPN2. On board with Clint Boyer, he is currently 0.4 of a second behind our race leader, Eric Almirola. And Eric is getting into some lap traffic.
Yeah, this one's going to be really interesting. Where's this lap traffic move over to give you? You don't really want the outside.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr. starting to put a little pressure on Sam Hornish Jr. That is for 5th. And Justin Allgaier right ahead of both of them. He is in 4th. You're asking, where is Elliott Sadler? He has fallen back to the 9th position. Let's get an update on what's happening on the 6 car, Dave Burns.
And Marty, of course, from his 11th starting position, what you mentioned was Ricky Stenhouse is going forward. That's a very good thing. And some very good words to his crew on lap 25. He simply said, just kind of cruising. And that's good stuff.
Well, you can see how he restarted in 9th, has moved up 3 positions. And boy, we got a lot of traffic up ahead of him now. And as you mentioned, trying to sort out where the lap traffic's going to go, where you can then place your car.
Yeah, trying to figure out where they're going first off is one thing that you have to do, and then be able to get around it. Looks like a lot of the lap traffic is given the bottom side, which is a big help.
That 80 car, DJ Kennington, one of those lap vehicles involved.
See, I'm rolling now just inside of Danica Patrick, putting her lap down. Boyer's all over this 88 car right now.
Yeah, the lap traffic has allowed Clint to close that half-second gap down to what you see right on your screen. Patrick is 3 laps down, shown in 33rd position after the first lap incident. Coming through the dog leg, and looks like they get around Reed Sorensen. Both of them make it before turn 3. Listen how he has to feather that throttle.
Yeah, and that's a lot like you used to have to do on the old track surface because there wasn't a lot of grip there. So I don't think this racetrack's driving a lot different in some places than what they had in the past.
Coming up on Mike Wallace in the 0-1. Now, Wallace has been cutting the dog leg way down below like that, and several cars have done it. I don't know that if it helps him, though. What do you think?
Don't think so.
Boyer also gets past the 0-1. Wallace is now 26th, the first car, 1 lap down. So there's first and second. Let's drop back a little bit farther and see where we can pick up. There's the 12 and the 6 of Sam Hornish Jr. and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. That is the battle for 5th. They've got their hands full with lap traffic as well. And notice that Joey Logano's taken advantage to sneak up into that mix as well.
Yeah, I think Ricky Stenhouse is just fine for right now, running in this position. He knows that he's past the 2. He's back behind him. I think Ricky's a little faster than Sam Hornish, but there's no reason to push the issue too much.
Yeah, especially in all this lap traffic and all the unknowns. You just, you don't know which way they're going to go. Now he's going to push the issue a little bit. Try to get by Sam. He's got Sam kind of...
Trouble.
Reed
Sorensen into the wall.
Yeah, it looked like maybe a right front tire went down right there.
Our second caution of the day. Reed has been a part of both of them, unfortunately. Remember, just a few weeks ago, 3rd in the championship hunt, and then all of a sudden got the boot from Turner Motorsports. Picked up this ride to complete the season.
I don't know what happened, but he had some damage from that first caution. I don't know if he maybe be rubbing a tire or cut it down.
He was 27th, 1 lap down at the time of the incident. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, that's a hard lick too.
Get another angle here. Ouch. Thank goodness for safer barriers. And now we've got a bit of a fire. Come on, Reed. Let's.
It might be time to exit.
Get a little quicker getting out of that thing. Safety truck's having a hard time getting across the track because we still have cars going in front of them. Reed's out of it okay, and here comes the safety crew.
Got the right front pretty good.
So they'll be able to get the fire out here. And you see Reed's none the worse for wear, just now out of this race. So he'll make the mandatory trip to the infield care center. And here, if we've completed 37 of the 200 laps, so far, everything that the drivers have told us has played out, especially with the line and the race line and what happens if you get out of the race line.
Yeah, it's going to be treacherous there all day, but they are actually running a little more side by side. They're not having to slow down as much as what I thought.
Let's go a lap before the caution happened. See just how fast things are happening here on this 1 mile track.
Oh, that was a pretty cool pass right there.
It's James Busher in the 30. Here comes Trevor Bain. And Bain, of course, wants to get around that too. That would be another point for his teammate.
You can see Busher all the way down. Look how far down he
on
is.
you. Calm down on the bottom. Clear high.
All right, they're coming down pit road, and we're going to send it down to Jamie Little first.
And Carl Edwards, they were trying to figure out what kind of strategy to pull off here if we were going to see right sides only, but they just made the call. Mike Beam said, we're going to take 4, fill it up. We need to make a track bar adjustment. They're going to go down and make an air pressure adjustment. Carl wants a drink. He wants a water. They'll fill him up. Dave?
Bottom left, second place, Clint Boyer. He said, whatever will help me from the center off the corner, you do it. Wedge and air pressure. As for sixth place championship leader Ricky Stenhouse, it was either fuel only or 2 right sides. I didn't quite see it, Vince.
Well, you saw Eric Almirola take 2 right side tires. That was it. No other changes for the leader, the 88.
And you see the race off pit road. Almirola takes 2 tires. Stenhouse picks up 3 spots, taking 2 tires as well. Sadler a big gain with the 2 tire change, as is Ryan Truex. So, as Eric Almirola comes back out where he started this race and has been since the beginning, let's take a look with Hollywood Armstrong as he goes over the wall for Stephen Wallace. Cool desert evenings give way to warm, sunny afternoons in the desert Southwest, and boy, the temperature has heated up here at Phoenix International Raceway with this new configuration. We've had a total of 2 cautions, and it got really hot for Reed Sorensen. 8 cars involved in the first incident. Several of those are still behind the wall. And as we mentioned, that hot incident for Reed Sorensen, as we've completed 41 of 200 laps here at Phoenix International Raceway. Reed's situation, it toasted the car pretty good. That's what happened. He did get out safely, A-OK. Let's go to Tim Brewer in the Craftsman Tech Garage. Tim?
Marty, what happened when the car goes into the wall? The wheel folds up. It breaks the caliper right here. We've got external lines on what happens when that fluid runs out and gets against that hot rotor. It erupted into flames. But that brake rotor, it was in several pieces when he went into that wall on the impact. Marty?
All right, thank you very much. And there's what's left of the 82. In fact, Dr. Jerry Punch has caught up with Reed Sorensen.
Yeah, thankfully, Marty, he's okay. Just came out of the medical center. Reed, what happened?
Yeah, just blew a tire. That's the second blown tire I've had this week with the same car. The first time we had some type of shock rub, and I think there we just overheated the bead. I was losing brake pedals, so I was lifting about 10 car lengths early, and that just wasn't enough. I don't know if we didn't have enough opening on the front or what the deal was, but just overheated it and melted the bead, and I was just along for the ride.
What happened on lap 1? There was some contact involving you and a couple other guys entering the corner.
Yeah, I just got in the back of the 11. There's no rule on the yellow line over there. I was down the flat, came back up. He dove down in front of me, and I got on the brakes as hard as I could. Actually started to chatter the back tires, and I got into them, and I was all I could do to keep from hitting them. And I'm not sure exactly what happened, but it might have been my fault. Nothing on purpose, nothing intentional. Like I said, I got on the brakes as hard as I could.
Tough day for Reed Sorensen. Marty, this was the car, by the way, he was supposed to run next week at Homestead, Miami, but this car pretty well used up.
Yes, it is, Doc. The 01 of Mike Wallace gets the lucky dog. We had 4 waiver rounds. Danica Patrick, Jeff Green, Derek Cope, Kevin LePage. Cope and LePage get back on the lead lap. Eric Almirola is our race leader. He has led every single lap, all 42. In fact, he's led more laps today than he had in the previous 32 starts combined in 2011, alongside Ricky Stenhouse Jr., then Clint Boyer, Carl Edwards in row 2, Elliott Sadler, Justin Allgaier in row number 3. So we get ready as the pace car takes the turn down pit road. And again, Almirola takes that low inside preferred line. And boy, look how high he's coming out, trying to keep Stenhouse up there. We're back to green flag racing. think Almirola's got the restarts figured out. Ricky's in trouble, though, as he's under attack. Clint Boyer's going underneath him.
Yeah, this is where he needs to be really careful.
You see the number 2 of Elliott Sadler right behind the 6 now.
Yeah, Elliott would like to have been able to stick his nose in there and keep Ricky Stenhouse out there for a while. Now he's going to try to make the pass down the front straightaway into 1.
And he's going to have that preferred inside line, and there's Carl Edwards in the 60 right behind those 2. Boy, Ricky does a nice job of hanging on.
Yeah, as I rode around the track today, you can see that there were 2 full grooves down there, down in turn 1 and getting off of turn 2. This is where it gets a little dicey right here.
Down into turn 3. They are side by side, and again, Stenhouse manages to hold on, and boy, they have contact. Nice save as Sadler backs out. Now he's going to lose a spot to Justin Allgaier.
Yeah, it looked like they were going to make it 3 wide there for a second. That's not going to work right now, I don't think, getting into 1.
Sam Hornish in the 12 trying to go underneath the Sadler number 2. On board with Carl Edwards.
Yeah, Elliott just wasn't comfortable in trying to drive down the outside going into turn 1 there. Really slowed down because he was in the middle of what he thought was going to be a 3-wide situation.
Well, he was having trouble hanging on to the car on the low line. He's having trouble on the high side as well. Hornish is still underneath him. 16 of Trevor Bain is also trying to get into that mix as well.
See Keselowski up out of the groove.
I've seen Keselowski out of the groove a couple of times in this since the restart.
Now all of a sudden Carl Edwards gives up a spot to Trevor Bain. I don't know if there's an issue on the 60, but boy, he lifted.
Yeah, I think that Carl was trying to not get into the back of Elliott Sadler down there, and he may have cost himself a couple of spots by doing that.
You see the 20 car there of Ryan Truex a little bit slow on the front straightaway. Don't know if he either made contact or had to get. Looks like he may have made contact.
Yeah, some damage on the right side there.
And he has lost several positions and may lose more. There comes Hornaday. And let's go back and show you exactly what happened to Ryan Truex as he's continuing to get freight trained.
He has to get out of the gas a little bit and gets a little tap right here. Yeah. That was just Stephen Wallace. He was in the gas, and the 20 had to get out of the throttle just a little bit.
Settle down.
Yeah, it looks like Ryan Truex was able to stay out of the outside wall, but he gets the damage from the contact from Stephen Wallace.
Let's get an update on that 20 car. How about it, Vince Welch?
Well, before that contact, he was just trying to hang on. He had just radioed in to talk about how loose his race car was. I think we're seeing some of the product of that as some of the other cars go by him, and a little bit of contact there. But no fault of Stevens, I don't believe, because Truex was so free going into the corner.
Yeah, and Ryan has slipped well out of the top 10, back to 19th, and now we move into the battle for 19th because there's the 18 of Joey Logano with Brad Keselowski right behind him, and there's Carl Edwards right in front. Remember, the Owners' Championship, that team championship, is still at stake. The 18 car came in with a 2-point lead over the 60, and I asked Joey, I said, how much pressure are you feeling? He says, no more than any other time. I want to go win a race.
As these guys battle for 9th and 10th there, we're normally seeing them up there battling for 1st and 2nd or somewhere inside the top 5. So it remains to be seen if they can work their way as they got 150 laps to go. Doc, what is saying about this 18?
Well, they made some pretty major adjustments, DJ, when I stopped a moment ago, involved both the track bar and the wedge as well as air pressure. He said the car was loose early on and then started tightening up and even shattering the right front midway in that run. So that's why they came in and made major adjustments. And then Joey came back on the radio a moment ago very calmly and said, guys, today is about taking our time and being very patient. Dave.
Brad Keselowski's car is not bad, just a little bit tight on that first run. They made an air pressure adjustment for that. But something to note, he started the race on the outside line, and he made an interesting comment through that first run. He says, I can run the outside, I can get into the corner. The problem is I can't get back to the gas. So when they're stuck on the outside like that, sometimes the problem is not just controlling the car, it's putting the power back down and shooting off the corner.
All right, Dave, thank you very much as we continue at this action here. So you're wondering where the race leader is? There's Aric Almirola. Remember, he has one win to his credit. That was back in Milwaukee in 2007, but he doesn't consider that a win because Denny Hamlin relieved him and took it to the checkered flag.
Well, Welcome back to the Wypall 200. Make sure to go to NASCAR.com for all of your latest NASCAR information. 59 laps complete here at Phoenix International Raceway. And heading into this race, Rusty and Brad, one of the big topics of conversation was getting the second groove, the second line around this track to come in. Starting to a little bit.
Yes, it's starting to just a little bit, but not very much. It's a brand new design racetrack. They're being very, very cautious out there right now, Nicole, running on the bottom of the track.
Let's go for a lap around right now with a guy chasing the leader. That's Clint Boyer. Take us for a lap around with him.
Yeah, right now we're getting ready to enter turn 3, and the racetrack really falls out from under the drivers right here. Drops about 3 or 4 feet into turn 3. The drivers now are exiting turn 4, heading down the front straightaway.
Yeah, it gets nice and wide as you come out the front straightaway, about 10 more feet of space. You go down here to turn 1, you're going to get into about 9 to 10 degrees of progressive banking. There is a groove working. Eventually that will be able to let these guys run side by side through there. Then you go down the hill as you're going into and back up as you're going out onto the dogleg.
And a nice pass there by Ricky Stenhouse Jr. over Boyer to get Stenhouse into second. It's now Eric Almirola 1, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. second. Let's get caught up with what's going on in front of that field. And Vince, as we go nationwide up to speed here, there's only one name on that leaderboard, and that is Almirola.
63 laps, and Eric Almirola has led every single one of them, as you see him passing a lap car there. What's been most encouraging for crew chief Pops Urey is how this car has been so consistent through the corners all weekend long. It's just a little bit snug on that first run. They've been happy with it in the early stages of the second run. Dave Burns?
Ricky Stenhouse is right behind him in second place. At the start of this run, he called the car really loose. He said it tightened up a little bit when he got up behind the other cars. And then this to consider next time he comes down pit road.
The lights are off in this thing, just so you know.
On the tax button?
Yes, sir, 10-4.
Is your lights on now?
No, they were. They're just wrong. It's like yellow when I'm at max speed.
As we've discussed before, and I checked with crew chief Mike Kelly, he'll just have to watch the needles instead of looking at the newer technology, which are telltale lights to help the driver on that tachometer. He closes in on Almirola. Behind them, the 33 of Clint Boyer. He says at the beginning of the run, it takes a while for the tires to come in, and right now, the front end is just not working well enough for him. Looks like we have a lead change up there, guys, and Almirola will hold off the 6th car for right now, but Ricky Stenhouse is coming, and you guys, you know what? Mike Kelly told me also that 6th car, they came here to go fast and win the race, not to simply hold their position, Marty.
All right, thank you, David. As you saw how close it was, as Ricky Stenhouse Jr., he wasn't kidding. He said, I'm going to be as aggressive as I normally am. He is right behind Eric Almirola, and they've got 2 slower vehicles in front of him now.
Yeah, he actually stuck his nose in there and was looking at trying to make it 3 wide off of turn 2. He wants the lead, get that extra bonus point.
Robert Richardson in the 23. The 28 is Derek Cope. Cope gives room. Here we go, side by side. I didn't think we could get 3 wide through there, but we did.
Yeah, they're showing us a lot of things here we weren't sure about, but Stenhouse goes to the front.
So Ricky Stenhouse Jr., after 66 laps, led by Eric Almirola, more than he's led the rest of the season combined. We have a new leader with Ricky Stenhouse Jr., the 2-time winner this year, and now in second place, the battle with Clint Boyer as Boyer's charging.
See a little cloud cover of the track. It might be changing a little bit for some of these drivers.
Well, the longer the run has gone, the better it has been for Ricky Stenhouse's car. The worse it has been for Eric Almirola.
Well, Stenhouse has been fast from the start. I've watched his lap times from the start of the race, and he has just been getting faster and faster by the lap.
Well, now that we've got the lead change taken care of, let's go back to our Nationwide Insurance Up to Speed. Let's pick it up again with Jamie Little.
And Sam Hornish Jr. in the bright yellow Dodge right there. 4th on the board right now. This is just his 3rd start here in a Nationwide Series car at Phoenix. And his numbers have been anything but stellar. His best finish, 36th. But here in an Indy car, exact opposite. He's a 2-time winner. Actually got his first ever Indy car win here. Right now he's saying the car is just a little bit free, but it's actually pretty good. And And behind him, the 60 of Carl Edwards for the 7th straight week. He started on the front row, actually 7th straight race here at Phoenix. Started on the front row, but he's fallen back a bit. He's a little bit free. He's been paying attention, watching this car, taking notes for tomorrow. Bob Osborne still up on the pit box as crew chief for the Cup race tomorrow. Right now, he's a little bit loose and chattering. Doc?
And back behind him, the 18 car. Remember, they're trying to hang on to a 2-point lead. What was a 2-point lead for the Owners' Championship? That's Joey Logano. So the car was free early on, then began to chatter the tires, wedge, track bar, air pressure adjustment. Then he said the car was too tight at the beginning of this run. Then about a lap and a half ago, Joey said, now 30 laps into the run, the front end is turning perfectly. Really, car working well. Dave.
Peanut butter and jelly. Only Brad Keselowski could use that to describe what is happening at the racetrack this weekend. He said, my car is the bread, the track is the jelly, and the tires are the peanut butter that stick it all together. He said, right now, we need a little more peanut butter out there, but anytime you put together a PB&J, it always tastes good. He was excited about the race this weekend. As he goes under the yellow line again, holy cow. The 16 of Trevor Bayne has had an interesting race so far. Early on, he gave his teammate Carl Edwards some room and lost a bunch of track position. Said we got to be more careful about doing that. They've been a little bit loose, a little bit tight. The balance is closer than it was at the start for the 16 car last week's winner. Vince?
Well, the 31 of Justin Allgaier comes into this race third in points, was running up around the 5th and 6th position, but has since lost 3 spots as the car continues to tighten up. Says it's just too tight through the corner, not allowing him to get a good drive off, and we've seen him lose a couple of positions because of it. Doc?
Yeah, give a call to Jason Leffler and Eddie Pardue. Leffler started back in 18th spot on track where it's very hard to pass. He is now knocking on the door in the top 9, running in 10th position. Leffler has run here 14 times, has 2 poles and 2 runner-up finishes. Oh, by the way, he's also won here twice in USAC competition in a midget and Silver Crown. Loves this racetrack. Now a little bit loose with the front end of the car coming off the corner. Marty?
And 11th is Elliott Sadler with 12th Stephen Wallace and Mike Stremme in 13th position. 10 cars are officially out of this race. A total of 24 are running on the lead lap. Right now, Timmy Hill is in the lucky dog position. And there's your leader, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. I guarantee you the ground pounders will be trying to rotate the earth over in Pomona with that NHRA qualifying tonight and finals tomorrow. The championships in Top Fuel and Funny Car going down to the wire. Right now, the championship is in the hands of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. here in the Nationwide Series. He is running 2.6 seconds out in front of this field. Back a little bit farther in the field, that's James Busher in the 30. The 66 is Stephen Wallace, as they've got a battle going on for 13th. And there's a little quick move, a little contact there.
Mike Stremme making the move on the inside of Busher.
David trying to take advantage of all that action, squeeze himself up in there as well. I can tell you that during the break, Mike Wallace, Jeremy Clements went a lap down. So did Morgan Shepherd. Shepherd, the lucky dog position right now in 22nd. How about the battle for 5th as the action continues all around the track? You've got Sam Hornish Jr. in that spot. Joey Logano would like to take it away from him.
Yeah, Logano's been coming pretty good. He said earlier they reported he really liked this car and the way it was turning now. Seems like it's working pretty good for him right now, Doc.
It really has, DJ. They made an adjustment, and Jason Ratcliffe knows basically what's going to happen to this racetrack. By the way, that is the same car that Kyle Busch drove here in February, set on the pole, and led all 200 laps. That car's run 3 times this year, one here at Phoenix, and won both races at Bristol. And now it's moving under the 12 car of Sam Hornish to take that spot away. And by the way, Jason said, based on their calculations, they'll make one more stop around lap 120.
Caution is out on the track. Sorry to interrupt you, but the 80 of DJ Kennington has hit the wall, Jerry, and boy, he tagged it hard on that right front corner.
Looks like maybe another right front tire went down. 82 car just hit the same place with basically the same issue. You know, they're using a lot of brakes here, and that really overheats that bead. I heard Reed Sorensen say that's what he thinks happened to his right front.
Same team, same spot, same result. He was running 28th, 1 lap down at the time of this caution. Our 3rd that has come out today. There you get a really idea. Wow. Here we go. Ouch.
Oh, man, that has to hurt.
That's what's left of the 80 of DJ Kennington. He limps it on back towards pit road. Wipes out that 2.5-second lead that Ricky Stenhouse Jr. held over Eric Almirola. See a little flame coming out now on the right side of the 80 car.
It'll be interesting to see what Stenhouse, as the leader of the race, does as far as tires go. 2 tires set his car sailing there. I mean, he's been fast from the start, but will they just take left sides and try to stay up front?
So same issue they had with the teammate car. Caught on fire after they hit the wall. Looks like they got the same issue on this one.
Well, and he's continuing on down. I don't think I fully realizes exactly how hot it's starting to get on the right front side. Morgan Shepherd is going to get the lucky dog, and Morgan driving a heck of a race. We are almost halfway and 70 years old, and this is not an easy track to be negotiating.
He's been racing hard all day long. I mean, he has. It's paid off for him, too. He got that lucky dog, and now he'll get back on the lead lap, get back in the thick of it.
His best finish this year was back at Las Vegas when he came home in 18th. Right now, he is shown in the 22nd position. Pit road's open, so we're going to find out exactly what everybody is going to do. Could it possibly be the final pit stop, depending on what happens? Technically, we should have one more round of pit stops, unless you want to gamble if we get more cautions. Let's check in on the 18. How about it, Dr. Jerry Punch?
And Joey Logano just said the car was a little bit tight, center off, and so the NASCAR Sprint Cup group for Kyle Busch. I'll tell you what, Logano slides it into the concrete here. They're going to put 4 tires on, make a wedge and track bar and air pressure adjustment. Right now, no adjustment chassis-wise. Jamie.
Carl Edwards, 4 sticker tires, so they can gamble at the end is what they said. No changes. Carl said he's going to drive harder on the restarts to get his tires heated up. Dave?
Leader Ricky Stenhouse leaves on the upper right there. 4 tire change. They took left sides the first stop. 4 this time. No changes. Vince?
Eric Almirola needs his entry to be tightened up, so they went down on the track bar. 4 tire change in Sunoco fuel for Almirola.
And as you can see, everybody basically took 4 tires. Carl Edwards, the big loser, drops 5 spots. Ryan Truex picks up 3. And as you can see, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. stays in the spot where he came in. He is out front with all that clean air. Stay with us. There's DJ Kennington climbing out of one very hot, messed up race car. Saturday Night Football on ABC features a top 10 showdown in the West as Andrew Luck and the Cardinal put their undefeated record on the line. They host LaMichael James and the Oregon Ducks. It's Saturday Night Football presented by Southwest Airlines, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Remember, college football lives here. So we are under our 3rd caution. Gives us a chance to talk about Ron Hornaday. Started in the back of the field. He's had all kinds of issues this weekend. He slid up into the wall twice, once just barely missing in qualifying, scraping it, got into the mess early in this race. He's now shown, as you can see, 16th position. Talk to him about all what's happened since the truck race. He said, hey, I am very pleased with what NASCAR did to the situation. He said, I'm looking forward to going to next year, be back in the truck series. Says he signed a letter of intent with the team, although he would not tell us which team that is. And so we'll have to wait on that. He said he was very happy with what Joe Gibbs did as well, and there is Joe. And so as far as he's concerned, yeah, it hurts, but he's put it away.
Yeah, unfortunately, he just won't be battling for the championship next week when he gets to Homestead.
That's right. And he felt that he did have a shot at it because he remembered the year when, boy, it was a chance, and he ended up getting it. So there is the 18, Joey Logano. As you can see, he has now moved back into the top 5 as he is shown in the 4th position. It's Stenhouse, Boyer, Almirola, and Logano, with Trevor Bayne rounding out your top 5. Green flag flies. We're back to racing.
Oh, Boyer.
Yep.
You can see how hard he drove it down in the corner trying to stay there.
Oh, and he has got all kinds of problems.
There's just no grip up there. He's just going to have to basically just wait for everybody to come by to get it back up to speed.
Again, a good restart for Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and that has been one of his problems late in the season, but boy, he has done very well today. Eric Almirola shown in 2nd, then Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski, and Trevor Bayne.
Carl Edwards, he's trying to work by some of these cars that these positions he lost on pit road. They had a little hiccup on their pit stop.
Boyer dropped all the way back to 17th, guys.
That'll be valuable information for him for tomorrow, but it's going to hurt any chance he had here today.
There you see Carl Edwards as we go on board with Justin Allgaier. Edwards restarted 8th. Remember, it took Edwards 35 laps to move from 8th to his pre-stop position of 3rd during the last green flag run. So we check in on the battle for 3rd place. The 18 of Joey Logano with the 22 of Brad Keselowski, followed by Trevor Bayne and Sam Hornish Jr. and Carl.
Trevor Bayne trying to push the issue getting into turn 3, see if he could get Brad in there a little too hard and maybe slide under him. Didn't make that work.
7 laps from halfway. Meanwhile, while all this action goes on, let's get an update on that 18 car. How about it, Doc?
Well, guys, Joey Logano dodged a big-time bullet here, you know, as he's on the racetrack here. They're trying to win an owner's championship. Left rear tire, huge cut in the left rear tire. He came on the pit road a moment ago, had 2 pounds of air in the left rear. Remember, there are no interliners in these tires here, so another half a lap, he'd have been in the wall, guys.
And right now, the owner's championship, that team title, the 18 has a 5-point lead based on where they're running. Here comes the 22, though, trying to take the spot away.
Yeah, and I can tell you, when they redesigned this racetrack and did everything, they weren't planning on this right here happening. They paved all of that area down there. It used to be a lot of grass. Brad Keselowski's making it work. Really going to have to pay attention as a driver, though, knowing exactly where that car is as you enter turn 3.
Trevor Bayne, you saw him get a little bit of a wiggle there. Right side of your screen, the battle between the 16-2 of Michael Annett and Elliott Sadler getting a push from Clint Boyer.
Yeah, Elliott Sadler just really struggling with his car. He can't get into the corner. He is so loose. That's been a situation they've fought since Thursday when they got here.
And Boyer dropped back to 17th after running high there on the restart. Now he gets around and picks up the spot, so that puts him up to 15th. Let's get an update from Vince Welch.
Well, guys, as it relates to that 2 car of Elliott Sadler, crew chief Ernie Cope told me beforehand, he said, with the reconstruction of the track, with the different asphalt down, he said, it's going to be by the seat of your pants throughout the course of this race. I can tell you, they don't like the way it's happening right now. Chatter in the center with the right rear tire. Elliott Sadler's been fighting tight most of the way, not going the right direction. He's going backwards.
All right, thanks, Vince. We can tell you DJ Kennington has been checked out at the Infield Care Center, has been released. Let's go back and check in on our race leader. There you see the 6 going by. Ricky Stenhouse leading is 7/10 of a second over Aaron Almirola. Then Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, Carl Edwards. That is your top 5 right now as Edwards continues to fight his way back in that number 60.
You know, one thing we were wondering, would passing take place on this racetrack? We're seeing plenty of that. Carl Edwards has passed plenty of cars. I'm sure he would like to have a normal pit stop and not have to make all of these moves, but you can see that you can do that. Brad Keselowski, another that's moving forward by making passes.
On board with Carl, as you can see, up ahead. That is, man, he's trying to track down in that owner's championship, Joey Logano. 66 of Stephen Wallace. Now, he's in the top 10, although he's got his hands full with Ryan Truex there. And Truex bumps him back to the 11th spot now, and here comes James Busser. But we should point out, this is actually a backup car because they bent the first one up on the first day of practice. In fact, Andy, you and I were down in the pits in the garage area before qualifying, and I asked him about his car. He said, I actually like the backup better than I did the primary.
Yeah, I've had that happen before. You know, you mess a car up, you have to go to a backup car, and actually runs better than the one you planned on running.
Notice the guy right behind him there, the 33. That's right. Boyer is coming back. He is in the 13th spot. He restarted in the 17th position. And he is all over that back bumper of the 66 of Stephen Wallace. Looks like he's got the inside line as they head down the front straightaway and heading towards turn 1. So move Boyer back another spot. He lost a ton of them as we're approaching halfway and just past it here at Phoenix. And Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is still leading.
Just past halfway here at Phoenix International Raceway, and we had some early action Lap 1, turn 3.
Yeah, turn 3. You see Brian Scott getting the wall right there. Had a little tap from Reed Sorensen. Really caused a big crash. Danica Patrick is involved in it. A lot of wrecked cars down there, Brad.
Wiped out a lot of cars on the first lap. I think he shook it out and learned a little bit from something from that. Eric Almirola goes out early, though. Leads 66 laps. He's running really strong early in the race. Still in the top 5 as we speak, but had a strong start.
Championship guys, 1 and 2. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in the 6, Elliott Sadler in the 2. Spent a little time racing each other on the track. Sadler had a few handling issues that allowed Stenhouse Jr. to pull away. That's our 5-hour energy rapid recap, getting us caught up with what's happened so far. Out front right now, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. trying to win his first championship from the perspective of a couple of former champions, both of you. What do you make of his performance today? Going out, not protecting, but going out and trying to get the win.
Well, sometimes it's really hard to protect, Nicole. You don't want to get yourself back into that mix of cars and really risk anything. If you got the fastest car, which he has right now, go ahead and get away from those guys. Drive on up there. And that's what he's doing now. His lap times have been the fastest most of the day. And right now he's up there leading this race with a real good handle of car. And in my opinion, Brad, you correct me if I'm wrong, but he's got a car that drives real good now. Go ahead and use it and get up there.
Seems like he gets better and better too, Rusty, as he talks to his crew chief. And you're exactly right, Nicole. In any sport, you don't want to play to not win. You don't want to protect and try not to lose. You want to take advantage of your assets and everything you got. And what this young man has is a great race car, an aggressive personality. Cut him loose and let the big dog eat.
It's very interesting how they try to make that pass as we're looking at live.
I'll tell you what, we're taking a look at this racetrack right now. This design is a little bit questionable, the redesign of this racetrack. The guys are not using the back straightaway as planned. They're going down to the apron. And I'm sure when the race is over, if the drivers do complain about the track, I'm sure ownership will step in and fix it. I've seen it happen in Texas a couple times when the drivers just didn't like it. But I didn't think they'd be this far down an apron where they're not supposed to be running, but they are.
Marty, when they go below that yellow line, it makes you certainly go, where are they going? But they're doing it with a plan.
And a couple of them are making it work for them as well, Nicole. As there you can see, Eric Almirola, who was the early leader in this race, under attack from Carl Edwards. And that is for the 4th position, as Joey Logano is now 3rd, and they're all chasing Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Brad Keselowski, who are running 1-2. And you're saying, well, wait a minute, where is Elliott Sadler? Sadler is all the way back to 15th position, and right now the lead in the championship is 35 points, and I didn't think we would get to this issue, but the way it's looking, if Stenhouse leaves here with a 48-point lead, he wins the championship. So Elliott cannot afford to continue going backwards. He's got to start picking up some spots. Here's some lap traffic. Whoa, they're going to split him on both sides. That's the 40 of TJ Duke, as he's getting an eyeful.
Yeah, it looks like that worked out for Almirola. He was able to get by cleanly.
Yeah, it really cost Carl Edwards some time right there as he was trying to make the pass.
It's Trevor Bayne right behind his Roush Fenway teammate. Now, remember the last couple of pit stops, Carl Edwards has not had that kind of performance that we've seen in the past. Let's go back and then listen to the radio, because we think we figured this out.
Explain to me exactly what happened there. Yeah, with the bleeding, the shocks, the right front tire won't come out. It's pressed down there, so it just won't come down out of the wheel well.
So you heard him there telling Carl, don't slam the nose because we can't get the right front tire off. And you heard them talking mechanically. For more on that, let's go to Tim Brewer in our Craftsman Tech Garage. Tim, what exactly can he do to stop that on the next pit stop?
He's got to stay off of that brake pedal, Jamie, because what Mike Beam is doing is utilizing the shock absorber. When you go down in the corner, Carl gets on the brakes, it literally pulls the front end down, trying to get the splitter on the ground to get aerodynamics. But what is happening when he's rolling into the pits real hard, gets on the brake pedal, it pulls the front end down. Therefore, the tires will not come out from under the fender wells. All Carl has to do is roll into the pits, get on the brakes just lightly, he'll be just fine. But when he slams on them brakes, that front end goes down. It's not going to come back up because it'll bleed the shock absorbers.
All right, thank you, Tim. As there you see the explanation of what has happened to Carl Edwards as far as those pit stops, and it has cost him on the track, although both times he has worked his way back. You see he's back in the top 5. He's got Almirola right in front of him in the 88. Everybody's chasing Ricky Stenhouse. Tonight, the ESPN networks feature 3 top 10 ranked teams from the SEC, and the ESPN2 at 6 Eastern following us. It's Tennessee versus number 8 Arkansas. 7 o'clock Eastern on ESPNU, number 1 ranked LSU hosts Western Kentucky. Then ESPN at 7:45 Eastern has number 3 Alabama up against Mississippi State. All 3 games are also streaming live on WatchESPN.com and the Watch ESPN app. College football lives here. Back here at the Wypall 200, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. has been living large. He has got a 3-second lead over Brad Keselowski. And let's get some stories in the field as we go up to speed with Nationwide Insurance and start off with Dave Burns.
Championship leader Ricky Stenhouse and his team have maintained all weekend long. They just came here to run fast and win the race. Listen to this recent radio and see if you think Ricky cares about where second place might be in the championship.
I know you're wondering, so I'll tell you that the 2 car is the line now.
Figured you'd know me by now. I really wasn't wondering.
Yeah, therefore. All right, nice and easy with these lap guys. Stuff are coming out back.
I know you probably don't believe me, but I'm running it really easy.
I bet you are.
One other point to think right in there, the main thing he's got to watch out for now are those slower cars that he's lapping now. You got to pick where you pass them and not touch them. Doc?
And a little humor out of the third out of the 18 car of Joey Logano. Joey said, wow, a minute ago when he pitted, boy, pit road is really slick down there, guys. And Jason Ratcliffe, the crew chief, said, you know what? Unlike the Russian judge, I'm going to score you a 10 for style points because you were sideways on the way in and you were sideways on the way out. So having some fun. Vince.
The 88 of Eric Amarola coming into today's race. Crew Chief Pop Shuri said they were the happiest they've been all year concerning the speed and the balance of the car. They started the race on the pole, led the first 66 laps, but since then, as Amarola says, the track is really tightening up. They've lost a few spots. Amarola now running 4th.
Vince, nothing funny about Clint Boyer's weekend in the 33 Nationwide car. His first lap of practice on Friday afternoon, in the wall. They spent the next hour fixing it, including Clint himself working on that right rear fender well, tapping out the metal to make sure the shape was just right. And remember on this restart, he was second on the outside and got up in the dirty part of the racetrack. Fell all the way back to 17th. He's raced his way back up to 9th. Jamie?
And James Busher in the 30s racing his way forward. He started the day 15th, making just his 10th nationwide start this year. Has a different spotter up on the stand today. Jeff Dickerson. He usually spots for the 24 at Jeff Gordon in the Sprint Cup Series. He was also the spotter for Kyle Busch for many of his victories here as well. The two working very well together today. The car right now just a little bit tight, but he's moving forward. Vince?
And the 2 car of Elliott Sadler came into this race needing to make significant gains. He trailed Ricky Stenhouse Jr. by 17 in the championship. Just 2 races to go. A critical stage of the championship for Sadler. But right now, Elliott says he's lost all side bite in the rear, burning off the right rear tire way too quickly. And while Stenhouse is leading the race, Sadler has slipped to 13th, Marty.
And what that means is he is now 33 points behind as they run right now with a race. Oh, and a crash. The 28 of Derek Cope involved.
19 of Mike Bliss has also been involved in that.
There you see Bliss's car as they come down the front straightaway here. So our 4th caution of the day.
Yeah, both these cars are torn up pretty good. Let's see right there, Derek Cope's car hard in the wall.
Derek was 28th, 3 laps down, and Bliss was 19th, still on the lead lap. The good news there is the window net is down, signaling to officials that Derek is okay, and Mike is already climbing out of his car. So we have 70 laps to go. That definitely puts us within the go to the finish mark.
Oh yeah, they can make it from here, so they'll be coming down pit road to get fuel and possibly 2 tires for the leaders.
And let's flash back because, DJ, you were the one who was talking about during the break, the time that the 6 car took 2 tires. They took left sides only, and it paid dividends.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they choose to do this time.
Well, pit road is already open, so we're going to find out exactly what happens, and let's send it down to Dr. Jerry Punch.
And they're talking about 2 rights or 2 lefts, and I think finally they've decided here on the 18 to go with 4, but they couldn't call it off. Here is Joey Logano. This should be the final stop. He can make it here on fuel. Caraway off, getting it full of Sunoco fuel. Right side tires, and now they go left side. Jamie.
Carl Edwards came into his pit box a little smoother that time, getting the right front tire off, no problem. Wedged out of the right rear to help it turn better. 4 tires once again for the 60, Dave.
Leader Ricky Stenhouse said his car was just tightening at the end of that 40-lap run, so a wrench will go in the rear window for the first time today. A little wedge. Vince?
Up on the track bar and up around on the left rear for Eric Almirola. Car is too tight, center off.
Well, surprisingly, a lot of teams took 4 tires, and Ricky Stenhouse's team did a great job. They get him back out in front of Sam Hornish Jr., who picks up 5 spots with only 2 tires. Elliott Sadler's team, wow, 8 spots to the good with a 2-tire change. Trevor Bain loses 3. The work continues down on the front stretch, down towards turn number 1, trying to get the 19 cleared up, and let's see what happened. Wow.
Oh, man. Yeah, that was Mike Bliss. Looked like he got really loose on the inside trying to pass Derek Cope. It's a hard hit for both cars.
Give you a different angle on this. This is going to hurt. Ouch. Stay with us. We're coming back. 69 laps to go here at Phoenix. Welcome back to the Wypall 200, and make sure to go to NASCAR.com for all your latest NASCAR information. And while we've got a moment, I want to remind you to join Goodyear and NASCAR in saluting America's armed forces and give back by helping support our troops. Visit Goodyear.com/support our troops to learn more. Goodyear, official tire of NASCAR. Well, the 88 of Eric Almirola led the first 66 laps of this race, but they had issues on pit road, missing a lug nut on the right rear and having to come back down. So he would have restarted in the 6th position, but he's going to find himself much farther back in this field and may have lost his chance for the win. Watch the right rear.
Yeah, his right side tire changer. You see the right rear missing a few nuts. And what happened was right there, it knocked one off of the stud, and that you cannot leave the pit road without all the 5 lug nuts on. They're going to have to come back and put it on.
And Pops Uri was not happy, to say the least. Morgan Shepherd gets the lucky dog. He will be the 21st and last car on the lead lap. Eric McClure stayed out and will get the wave around. Let's talk to our in-race reporter. How about it, DJ?
Hey, Elliott, Dale Jarrett, you got us?
Yeah.
Well, looks like it's been a little bit of a struggle there for you, but loose been your main condition that you've been fighting here most of the day?
Yeah, the track's definitely changed a lot from what we practiced yesterday, so we're trying to catch up to it, make some adjustments, using a little bit of strategy here to get some track position, but definitely find a little bit too loose right here to compete. So we make some adjustments to the OneMain Financial Chevrolet, and we'll see what it does for us this time.
Looks like the racetrack and groove has widened out quite a bit, though.
It has, and that's good. I mean, that's always good when it winds out some. It definitely creates a little bit better racing. So I think it'll continue to grow some tomorrow during that race, but we're going to try to use some of it. The dog leg's been pretty interesting on the backstretch, and turn 3 seems to be a good passing spot, getting into turn 3 and rolling under somebody in turn 4. So it's definitely taking rubber, but changing a lot as we go. So hopefully we've made the right adjustments.
Okay, good luck in these last 60-some laps, bud.
All right, thank you.
Elliott will restart in the 5th position. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. will start on point. Right now, the lead in the championship is 26 between Stenhouse and that man right there. Got a little repair work going on at the exit of turn number 4, so we'll step aside for just a few moments. Checking the motorsports calendar, we've got qualifying tonight for the NHRA, 12:15 a.m. on ESPN2. Everything else is tomorrow. NASCAR Now kicks it off at 9 a.m. Eastern on ESPN2. And then, of course, the Cobalt Tools 500 on ESPN at 2 o'clock Eastern. NHRA Finals from Southern California, Sunday at 7 Eastern Time. And NASCAR Now will wrap it up at 10 o'clock Eastern. Both of those on ESPN2. Let's check in on Mike Bliss, see how he's doing, Dr. Jerry Punch.
Well, the good news is he's okay. He's out of the care center. And Mike's speculation was the issue was the right front tire. What exactly happened?
That's what it was. It really didn't have any. I knew nothing. It came out of the corner and it just blew right when I was beside the 28 car, and I gathered him and hit the wall. So, I didn't think we'd have a tire issue here. It didn't even dawn on me we'd have that problem.
No warning at all? No chattering, anything?
Nah, we were tight. We've been tight since we've been here. But there's no warning.
I'm glad that Mike Bliss, though, is okay. Let's go to Dave Burns.
Doc, all weekend long we've been discussing Ricky Stenhouse and his restarts. They haven't been stellar all season long. Listen to the conversation between him and crew chief Mike Kelly.
On that last restart, I know you drove it in there pretty hard. Did it try and push up on you that first corner?
Yes, sir. Really bad. I got to watch that here.
10-4. Don't open that bottom. You know what'll happen.
Great counsel. He's had great restarts today, guys.
And remember what happened on that last restart? Boyer was up there as well. He got up into the marbles and dropped all the way back to 17th. Let's reset it for you. It's Stenhouse alongside Sam Hornish Jr., Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, Elliott Sadler in 5th, and Carl Edwards rounds out that 3rd row. Pace car has pulled down. When we come back across the line, there will be 61 laps to go. Everybody can now go the distance. And it's the dash for the cash and the points. Here we go. Green flag's in the air. Oh, Stenhouse spins him.
Spun the tires big time right there. Let's see if he's able to hold on.
Looks like he locked up the left front, too, getting in the corner.
Hornish. We're going to try and make it 3 wide. Thinking better of it, but Sam going for the lead.
Logano going to try to make the high side work here. See how that works down into 3.
Carl Edwards back there in 4th position.
Looks like it worked pretty good for Logano. Got a good run off turn 4.
So as they come across the stripe, it's Hornish, Stenhouse, Logano, and Brad Keselowski's the one that's dropped back from the restart there. He has fallen all the way back to the 6th position.
Boy, that's a great turn 1, turn 2 there by Ricky Stenhouse. Looked like he might lose a couple more spots to his teammates. Powered right by him, though.
So Sam Hornish Jr. becomes our 3rd different leader. There you see Logano in 2nd, Ricky in 3rd, then Edwards and Bain. That rounds out your top 5 right now. Here comes Keselowski trying to come back on Trevor. And the number 2 of Elliott Sadler right behind those 2.
Yeah, he's been struggling with the car. It's heard them say they made some adjustment, putting 2 tires on a car that's not handling that great. We'll have to see how that works for him.
Clint Boyer also in the mix there in the 33. The 31 of Justin Allgaier behind him. Here comes Keselowski trying to get that inside line on the 16 of Bain. Last week's winner at Texas. Side by side through the corner, and that second groove has come in pretty good because Bain holds on.
Yeah, you have so much room up there off of turn 2 now. You can get back in the gas early. So now that they've got a little more room up there in 1 and 2, actually getting more room down here in 3 and 4.
You can see those 2 battling it out, and also behind them, Elliott Sadler. Oh, and another crash down the front straightaway.
Big wreck off of 4.
Stephen Wallace is involved.
Standard Phoenix wreck off of 4 when you get over there. About 5 or 6 cars, all blocking the track. Just watch for debris. Most of them are sitting on the bottom.
There's the 66. The 30 of James Busher is also involved in this. The 30 was 12th. The 66 was 14th. And we now have our 5th caution of the day.
Race with them. You just can't even race with them.
Steven gets it refired and limp his way back around to get down pit road. Busher looks like he's going to climb out as the helmet is coming off. Here's the action.
Yeah, they've been around each other all day long. See here now that Stephen Wallace is going to try to make a pass on the inside. Looks like he got a little bit loose and up into the 30.
That's Ron Hornaday gets underneath. Boy, Eric Almirola slides past. So does Ricky Carmichael there in the 34. Another view.
Yeah, you can see the back end of that car step out, and then Steven tried to correct it. Got into the left rear of James Busher.
Let's go on board with Stephen Wallace.
Right here, Steven just trying to
still inside.
Check up on the throttle, get a little bit loose, and gets in the left rear. Sends Busher for a ride.
Some very fortunate drivers to get past that mess. As we mentioned, Eric Almirola being one of them. It's Almirola right now shown in the 14th position. There's James as he's out of the car. I can tell you that 32 of Ron Hornaday has made a trip down pit road. The 66 has gotten back to pit road. They're trying to work on that car. Jeremy Clements will get the lucky dog position. There's the damage on the 66. So it gives us another opportunity to quickly step aside as Sam Hornish Jr. is out in front here at Phoenix. Stay with us. We've got 55 to go.
NASCAR Nationwide Series at Phoenix is brought to you by Papa John's. Earn free pizza fast with double Papa rewards every weekend. Only at papajohns.com.
So back here under our fifth caution as the cleanup continues, a two-car incident, and the worst of it right there for James Buescher. The 66 of Stephen Wallace has made it back to pit road and is back out in the garage area. You can see they got more work to do. Let's check in down on pit road. Dave?
With Mike Kelly, who's doing the data now, counting your laps since you've led today. Congratulations, you've led the most, so there's a point there. And I don't think anyone can get by you with any to go here. Let's talk about restarts. He didn't push up like you guys talked about, but he looked like he spun the tires.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. We didn't get a really good one. Ricky's doing a great job today. The forward drive one Mustang's been fast. We had a game plan when we came here, knowing what the track would be. If we could get out front, just stay out front, use strategy, have a really good car. It'd make our day a lot easier. We still got 50 laps to go. A lot of things can happen here, but I like our chances.
You like the balance right now?
Yeah, he's been real happy with the car today. It's been good out front. It's been fast.
All right, well, forget about balance, Marty. What about speed? They've been fast.
They have been fast, and Ricky right now shown in third position behind Sam Hornish Jr. and Joey Logano. It has been a slugfest for a number of cars here, as from the very get-go on lap number one, when we had an eight-car incident, right on through to this current incident involving two cars. Ouch. It's been painful today at Phoenix. Pace car pulls off here at Phoenix International Raceway. Sam Hornish Jr. on the inside, Joey Logano alongside, then Ricky Stenhouse, Carl Edwards, Trevor Bayne, and Brad Keselowski. Green flag flies, and we have 50 laps to go.
And Ricky Stenhouse was spinning the tires again. His teammate Trevor Bayne was banging on his rear bumper right there, wanting to go.
And boy, what a nice restart for the 12 as Ryan Truex shortcuts it.
Man, check out Truex move down the back stretch, not straight away. He straightened it out a little bit, though.
Yeah, put Elliott Sadler on the high side of a three-wide situation, which he did not want to be in.
As they come across the stripe, it's Logano second, Edwards third. And there you see Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and the 22 of Brad Keselowski. Whoa, a wiggle by Trevor Bayne.
Yeah, they're racing hard back here. What a great restart by Sam Hornish there. He's done a great job here all day, but that was very impressive way he started.
Remember the pre-race radio, we heard one of the teams saying, look, just get through the first 150. Well, we're in the final 50. It's go time for a lot of these guys. They can all go the distance. Stenhouse gets down on the low side, and it allows Keselowski to come up alongside, and he may pass him on the high side here.
I like the way this groove is coming in on the outside. We've seen some passes being made out there.
Yeah, Logano hanging tight on the high side here.
Guarantee all the Cup drivers are hoping and praying there's no rain tonight. It's in the forecast because they're liking what they see, too.
Man, check this out.
Giving some room on the outside. Keselowski's going to make it work.
How about that pass?
What a move.
Brad Keselowski proves that you can do it.
My money in cash.
Yeah.
So, yeah, what was that about? Peanut butter and jelly? I think he found the peanut butter. He got what he was looking for right there. While all this is going on, let's check in with Dr. Jerry Punch.
James Buescher out of the care center. James, what happened?
Just short after a restart, fighting for position, and guess that's what happened when you're side by side with Stephen Wallace. You end up wrecked. Earlier in the day, I kept diving the inside of him. He kept dropping me off. Told my spotter, tell his spotter that if he kept doing it, we might have to use our bumper to get around him, and he would end up wrecked. We never had to, and I gave him room to race. Later on, he's inside me for one lap and takes us out. So it's unfortunate. The X-High battery Chevy is fast. Probably had a top 10 day going, but and the track is starting to widen out. You can run 2x2 if you give each other the space to race side by side, but he doesn't give anybody any space.
All right, James Busher, Marty.
All right, thanks, Doc. As all this action continues, there's the 18 of Logano trying to hold off Ricky Stenhouse Jr. And look at Sam Hornish Jr. He's pulled out a 1.1 second lead. He's led 4 times this year, including a career-high 39 back at Iowa.
Well, Roger Penske has to be really happy. He's got both of his cars running 1-2. That was a great move, though, by Keselowski to get that second spot.
That is the battle for third on the screen. The key word there I want to go back to is Iowa, where Sam had the most laps led. Ricky Stenhouse had his 2 wins at Iowa. Is there any real similarity between these 2 tracks?
Yeah, I didn't really think there was that much, but this is obviously maybe showing us there is some. The big glaring difference would be on the back straightaway here, where you have the big dog leg, the big turn back there, but the corners wouldn't, it probably wouldn't be a stretch to say that. So these drivers are showing us that maybe that is something that they could go off of. Of course, the Cup cars don't run at Iowa, so those guys wouldn't have anything to go off of.
Well, and they both have the progressive banking through the corner, so that's a similarity as well. And, boy, as this groove has widened, it has really, as Keselowski just showed us a few laps ago, really made for some interesting and exciting racing.
Yeah, Keselowski just ran one of the fastest laps of the race last lap.
27.3-second lap.
And there's a lot of drivers that are sitting watching this race that are scheduled to run tomorrow in the Cup race that are really happy to see that this groove is widened out. They're going to be able to really do some fun racing and a little bit back like the old Phoenix.
Okay, so Stenhouse is running 5th. Elliott Sadler's running 12th, and that means the point differential is 26. So, crew chief, you're talking to Ricky Stenhouse Jr. What are you telling him right now?
No, just be, don't go slow. I mean, you're not trying to keep you from passing cars. Just don't take any chances. We got a good car, and if he keeps on just marching, he's going to get these spots back, and he still will contend for this win.
Sadler was 36 points back on lap 108. And we've got another caution on the track. The 89 of Morgan Shepherd has turned it around. And Morgan has had a heck of a day going. He is on the lead lap until this moment. We'll see if he's able to stay on the lead lap as he gets it refired. He's in 19th position.
Yeah, he stays on the lead lap. Yeah, he'd gotten a little bit high down in 1 and 2 a couple of laps ago. I don't know if he might have had a tire going down or if this was an issue with another car.
23 of Robert Richardson Jr. takes the advantage of coming in and doing some more work. They were involved in some of the earlier action.
Oh, yeah, that's Morgan getting in. On the inside trying to make a pass. Got in there too hot.
And Robert was involved in this one. We didn't see that at first. Jeremy Clements is going to get the lucky dog. That'll give us 20 cars on the lead lap. Here's another view.
It's just another one of those cases we talked about going downhill into turn 3, carrying that speed. You can get in there a little hot, start to wheel hop just a little bit, then you're chasing it up the track. And when you're on the inside of someone, they usually get the worst end of it.
So now our 6th caution of the day here at a total of 36 laps so far run under the caution. Jr. had his 1.1 second lead wiped out. His teammate Brad Keselowski right along behind him there in the 2nd spot. Looks like the 2 car of Elliott Sadler is going to take advantage and bring it back down pit road. He comes in from the 12th position. Also, you see Ron Hornaday coming in as well as several others, including David Stremme, Michael Annett, and the 34 of Ricky Carmichael.
I think Sadler had to do something. What he was doing there wasn't working. He got to try to make up a few spots, at least get back into the top 10 before this is over.
Yeah, he was running 12th and not going forward. He was going basically backwards. So they're going to make a swing at it right here. Put some tires on it and change this car around a little bit.
Vince?
That's exactly right, guys. 3 rounds down on the track bar, 1 round down on the right rear wedge, 4 tires, just chattering that right rear a little too bad. Elliott said we got to do something.
So they take the 4 tires here and head back out.
Yeah, he had taken 2 tires the last time on that stop. That did not work for him. See if these 4 and some big adjustments can help him.
Those 2 tires are working for Sam Hornish, though.
All right, we'll reset it for you when we come back here to Phoenix International, as there is what put us under our 6th and current caution. NASCAR Nationwide Series at Phoenix is brought to you by the new City Simplicity card. Get started at citysimplicity.com. Back here at Phoenix International, where when we go back to Green Flag Racing, it'll be 35 laps for the cash. Sam Hornish Jr. on the inside, alongside his teammate Brad Keselowski. Green flag in the air with Edwards, Logano, Stenhouse, and Boyer. Another good restart for Sam.
Yeah, he's got that figured out. He's got a good launch.
He clears them by the time they exit turn 2 through the dog leg. Keselowski right behind him.
Stenhouse lost a spot back there to Clint Boyer, trying to hold off.
Got Ryan Truex, yeah. Truex really fighting back hard. On board with Justin Allgaier.
Like somebody brushed your wall off turn 4. Maybe King.
Looked like the 88. Eric Almirola, he striped it.
Drew Nemechek up there in no man's land right there.
And it's going to cost him. He's dropping. And here's the battle for second now. Carl Edwards side by side with the 22.
Let's see if Brad can hold him off. Now, Brad was running that outside lane that last restart real well.
Yeah, passed a couple of guys on that outside that stunned all of us. And he does hold on to the spot. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. there in that white number 6 trying to get underneath Boyer. He's still got Ryan Truex in the 20 all over his back bumper, and then there's Allgaier.
Yeah, Ryan Truex has done a terrific job here today. We saw him earlier get moved out of the way a little bit, fell back outside the top 15, but now well up inside the top 10.
He is the best running of the Rookie of the Year contenders right now in that position. The battle for second heating up again.
Well, this racetrack really has come around, hasn't it? That's outside lane looks good.
Yeah, it really has. It reminds me a lot as you exit the corners and things, a lot of what we saw with the old race surface here, how difficult it can be to try to make a pass, but you've got 2 grooves to work with. Or maybe more than that, looking at Clint Boyer.
Clint took all 4 down there, and the 18 took 2 of them on the left side below the line. And they are going after each other for position. While all this goes on, here we go. Down the front straightaway. Boyer's got a fender. Can he get half a car length? Now, side by side. Coming out of the corner, they're still side by side.
See, Boyer doesn't go down below the yellow line there.
Down into 3, where at the beginning of this race, if you weren't single file, you were in some serious trouble. But what we've seen now, 3 and 4, got more grip. Oh, almost 2 of them brushing the wall. Including our points leader, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. We saw that last week. Remember, late in the race, a couple of times, he got it loose coming out of 4, calmed back down, picked up a lot of points.
Yeah, actually able to increase his points lead when he looked like he may not. Sadler with the 4 tires trying to move back forward here.
Sadler right there trying to get around David Stremme for that 12th spot. He does have it.
That's right. Yeah,
he restarted 15th.
He did, and but 12th was the position that he gave up to come into the pits to get 4 tires and make some adjustment. So we'll see if he can make up a few more spots.
Checking in on the battle for 9th is Trevor Bayne going around Eric Almirola, and what a tough break for Eric when they missed the lug nut on that right rear, because he had himself a potential race-winning car, led the first 66 laps.
Even with that right side contact with the wall, he's still able to hang on.
He's got that 9th spot by just about a nose. Here comes Trevor. And there's Jason Leffler trying to insert himself into the picture in the 38.
And Sadler coming, too. They made some adjustments on that car when they made that last pit stop. It looks like it's a lot better than it's been all day.
Well, I remember talking to them on Friday, and I said, you know, that last set of tires they got at Texas just hurt them. It just wasn't good, and that's why they fell back. Maybe they got the lucky set of tires this week on this last run, as he is trying to fight his way back. Right now, the points differential would be 25.
Yeah, and each one of these cars that Elliott could potentially pass is just keeping him in the game a little bit more as they get ready to go to Homestead next week for the finale.
His goal was to pick up about 9 to 10 points. He has not come close to that. He's lost ground as they currently run.
Yeah, he's trying not to lose 9 right now.
These guys still going after each other. And notice the sun is starting to become a factor heading down into turn number 1. Elliott's got the low line. They're going to go 3 wide.
Yeah, that's a great move. You can see Jason Leffler really get loose there. Down in 1-2. Elliott's able to make that pass 2 at a time. Easy! No!
Oh, no!
What are you doing?
Leffler gets into him.
Oh, that's terrible.
And Almirola gets contact as well, and the caution is out. Clements gets involved.
So, Morgan Shepherd.
Here, look,
And the championship for Elliott Sadler might just be in a heap right now, as there is a red caution flag, and we may get a red flag here, we're being told.
That just started with Jason Leffler just dumping Elliott Sadler getting into 3. Man, that's just too bad for a lot of people.
It was a battle for 10th on the track. And remember, 48.
That's the whole fuel cell out of that car.
48 is the magic number for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. And you can see Elliott from our camera inside.
Yeah, he didn't deserve that.
No, that's Jason. I don't know why that may have started. He was the one that got loose down in 1, opened up the inside for Elliott. Elliott made the pass, and then he just ran into the back of him.
I'm actually surprised at how calm he is right now.
Yeah, he's probably not as calm as you think.
Yeah, I was expecting smoke coming out of his ears. There's Leffler. He's out of the car. Official still talking to Morgan Shepherd. We'll have to wait and sort out exactly. There's Eric Almirola.
Yeah, Morgan Shepherd's the other one that took a pretty hard lift there at the end of that. To the right front corner of his car destroyed.
And so far, as you see Leffler walk back, Morgan has not climbed out of the car. What a shame, too, for Morgan. He was running in the 18th position.
He done a great job all day.
Got the lucky dog twice, but still was doing an excellent job. And everybody who follows this series knows just how limited the budget really is for that 89 team. And for Almirola, goodness, what do you say? I mean, after leading the first 66 laps, the one lug nut puts him back into the field deep, and here's what the end-up product is.
Yeah, that's the kind of things that happen when you get back. And usually one mistake compounds the rest of the day, and you get yourself in more problems.
There's Morgan.
There's a good sight. Morgan Shepherd at age 70. Getting yourself bounced around in these race cars at any age, let alone age 70, is not fun. So it's good to see Morgan being able to walk to the ambulance for the mandatory trip to the infield care center under his own power. All right, let's go back and see if we can sort all this out again.
You see the pass here, and Elliott makes the pass really clean. Slides back up. I'm sure Jason Leffler's going to say, well, he lifted too soon, but it's your job there to judge off of that car in front of you.
Hornaday got past. There is Clements as he gets swept up in it. The 89 of Shepherd. Another view.
You can see Jason Leffler got a little bit loose there. That was in turns middle of 1 and 2.
And he gives him plenty of room. He takes the apron, and so it doesn't put these other two cars in jeopardy. And then Leffler just dumped him.
There's J.D. coming in. Wow.
Yeah, by Morgan Shepherd.
Up until this moment, Elliott Sadler was the only driver running at the finish in all 32 races of 2011. Unfortunately for Elliott and his fans, that string's over.
That tells it all right there.
Of course, while all this was going on out on the track, the team is watching intently. And here is their reaction. That's Ernie Cope. And then watch the 89. Oh, just caught the corner of Leffler.
That's what knocked the fuel cell out of that 38 car. That lick from Morgan Shepherd. Man. Yeah, that was a hard lick.
And here was Elliott's somewhat subdued gesture, as he obviously not happy with Jason Leffler, but as I said, I was expecting to see smoke coming out of those ears. because I think he knows exactly what it means right now with the championship, as we are under a red flag here with 25 to go. Under a red flag here at Phoenix with 25 to go gives us a chance to tell you about the calendar. Tonight at 12:15 a.m. on ESPN2, NHRA Finals, the Automobile Club of Southern California qualifying. Everything else is Sunday, 9 a.m. Eastern. We'll kick it off with NASCAR Now, and then we'll close it at 10 o'clock Eastern with NASCAR Now. Both those on ESPN2. In between, we'll have the Cobalt Tools 500 at 2 o'clock Eastern on ESPN, and the NHRA Finals. Big showdown in Top Fuel and Funny Car, 7 o'clock Eastern on ESPN2. Don't forget to join Goodyear and NASCAR in saluting America's Armed Forces and give back by helping support our troops. Please visit Goodyear.com/support our troops to learn more. Goodyear, the official tire of NASCAR. All right, let's go on board with Elliott Sadler through this entire sequence. And the picture's going to drop out for a moment, but it will come back. Here we go.
So the big run, he got off turn 2. Get into the dog leg. Takes the big, just way below the line. Makes the clean pass.
There's the nudge. Now, don't think it's wrong with your television. There we are. We're back.
Yeah, this is still happening.
And you know, as they went through the dog leg and Elliott went all the way down to the apron, he was actually doing the other two drivers a favor by not pinching them and putting them in a bad position as they went through there. You can see the 38 and the 88 both would have been compromised if Elliott stays up on the track right there. But he makes the pass cleanly, and then Jason Leffler just doesn't get out of the throttle and onto the brake and runs squarely into the back of Elliott Sadler.
All right, let's check in on some of these guys that were involved in this mess. Doc?
Eric Almirola out. Sort of good to see you're okay, Eric. Let's talk about what happened in this incident here.
Man. I got in the wall off of 4 there trying to pass Allgaier. I just barely got out in the fuzz, and my car just took off, and I bent the splitter brace down, and it's just a shame. We had an awesome Swabman Chevy today. It was really fast, and the track started tightening up, and we didn't keep up with it quite fast enough, and so when we come down to make an adjustment to free our car up, we had a lug nut fall off on the right rear, and we had to come back down pit road. So we went from running in top 5 all day to restarting in 22nd or whatever. So track position with the one-lane racetrack is really, really tough. And we fought hard to get back to 10th in a hurry, and I thought we were going to be okay. And just one mistake, just barely getting in the gray over off of 4 and bent the splitter brace down. And then it looked like Leffler just running the back of the 2. I'm not sure why he would have done that, but he flat out crashed the 2, and I didn't have anywhere to go. We all ended up crashing, but it's a shame. Everybody at Junior Motorsports works really hard, and we had a pretty good car. I was pretty proud of the car we had today, and I hate that it ended like that.
Potential race-winning car now crashed, and he's back in the garage area, guys.
All right, tough break for Eric Almirola. And there you see Jason Leffler as we're approaching the top of the hour. As we are under a red flag condition here with 25 laps to go. All right, we want to give you a program alert. ESPN College Football Primetime presented by Miller Lite with Tennessee versus Arkansas. You can find kickoff at 6:05 Eastern over on ESPN News. That's at 6:05 Eastern, as we are going to wrap things up here as quickly as we can once they get the track back in racing condition with 25 to go. Okay, let's update the championship scenario. Let's talk to a very disappointed Elliott Sadler. Doc?
Elliott Sadler coming out of the Care Center. Elliott, looked like you had made a move and had 2 cars passed. And what happened?
I'm sure the video shows that the 38 just run right in the back of us. So not much respect for guys running for the championship. And there's nothing I could do. He just hit us square in the rear, and I just lost it. I don't understand. He's not running for anything. And I cleared him. I even gave him extra room to not try to crowd him. And it's very frustrating, man. My guys worked their butt off to get us in a good situation to run for the championship this year. We made a good pit stop there at the end, working our way back up. But very frustrating not being able to go to Homestead, having a chance to win the thing. So I let my guys down, especially today. I let my sponsors down, not having a chance. And but I definitely want to thank them for their support.
Have you spoken at all to Jason Leffler? And if not, what will you say to him?
Wow, what do you want to say to him? That's it's no need to fuss about it. just one of those things. He just run right in the back of us. Some things you can talk to people about him. He's got into us a couple races this year, road course, stuff like that, and we just kind of let it go and try to move on. But we couldn't come back from what happened today. But what do you say? It's not going to fix the issue that we're out of the race and have lost our chance to win the championship.
Elliott, what about the line? You really were diving down off the racetrack on the bottom and try to make the pass. Why that line?
Everybody's doing it. Look at the race. Everybody's doing it to make passes, and it's actually giving the other guys more room. And I think you're going to see it all day tomorrow too. So I thought I was doing the right thing to get away from them. They both got loose in the middle of 1 and 2. I pull up under them, get away from them to not crowd them all up because the track's narrow. Pull up, clear them, and then have the line going into turn 3, and he's running the back of me. So very frustrating. Very frustrating. Seems like you work all season long to put yourself in a situation, and just it all goes away at a split second.
Okay, thank you, Elliott, for coming out. Very, very upset, Elliott Sadler, and rightfully so, Marty.
Well, Doc, it's not officially over yet. Yes, it's a deep hole. There is only one way that Stenhouse can clinch today. He must win. He has to lead the most laps, which he has done so far. And Elliott must be 27th or worse. Now, Elliott could end up 28th if Duke stays out on the track and finishes the remaining laps. But that's the only way. And right now, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is running in the 6th position. So it's still going to be a long road to go, but he'll mathematically pretty much have a chance unless that scenario takes place. All right, we are back under caution as it is now our 7th caution. And let's check in with Jamie Little. She's caught up with Jason Leffler.
Well, during that interview with Elliott Sadler, Jason Leffler was standing 4 feet away, and Jason, you severely impacted his chances at his first NASCAR championship. What exactly were you thinking there?
Well, I was racing, and he stopped sooner than I expected, but ultimately it's my responsibility, and he slid across the racetrack. I think he got in early not to overshoot the corner. I was racing Eric, but I take full responsibility, I run right in the back of him. But it was the last thing. It wasn't on purpose. It was a mistake on my part, so feel bad for him and his guys. Feel bad for everybody on the Great Clips team. We had a pretty good car going today, and just one of those deals, just happened instantly, and it's tough back there because when the guy slides across the racetrack, he clears you, but he kills all his momentum. And he's a good driver, smart driver, so obviously he lifted early to keep from blowing the corner. I was racing Eric and just made a mistake. It's all my fault, I can't, but that's what happened. It certainly wasn't. That's the last thing I wanted to do to Elliott and his guys and affect the championship like that,
You were racing through the dogleg. Elliott Sadler was cutting that corner there, and you said he slid up into you. What are your thoughts on that line?
No, I didn't say he slid up into me. He slid up in front of me, and he did everything. He actually was trying to give us more room, I think. And but when you do that, you kill your momentum. But it was certainly. Listen, I'm not putting any blame on him. I'm just telling you what happened. So I think he backed off earlier than I expected, obviously. But it certainly wasn't on purpose. I feel bad for his sponsors, everybody there at his team. Feel bad for mine, but that's racing.
Showing some remorse, Jason Leffler taking full blame for the incident that has taken Elliott Sadler out of the championship as of now.
And Jamie, as Elliott pointed out, he has been running that line before, as has many other drivers. And as Elliott pointed out also at the beginning of this year, this was a rebirth for him, an opportunity with great equipment, with KHI, soon to be Richard Childress Racing Machines. And it's not going to come to fruition.
No, it's not. But, Elliott's had a good year. He'll go back at it again next year. And, everything's said there. I mean, it was right. There was nothing wrong with the move that Elliott made. Jason Leffler admitted he made a mistake. And any of us that have ever driven a race car, we've all made mistakes. And this was just a very unfortunate one for somebody that was battling for the championship.
I think both drivers handled it very well. I have to commend Elliott Sadler keeping his poise there for that interview, and then you got Leffler manning up and saying, hey, it was my fault.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Rusty, I know you want to get in on this.
Look, I tell you what, I feel sorry for all these guys, I really do. But we sit in the pit studio and we almost saw this coming a couple times with other cars, guys. When they get down this low across the apron, which is something they can do, the cars are handling good down there. But when they come up, they're at a straighter line going at the corner, and they have to get out of the gas earlier when that happens. And when they get out of the gas early, you're just not going as fast as the guys behind you. Jason could have got it out of the throttle earlier, but I didn't think he anticipated, like he said, that Elliott would get out of the gas early. But Elliott had to get out of the gas earlier because of the line he was having going at turn 3, guys.
All right, thank you, Rusty. As there you see the exact dog leg. And I'm not sure that's exactly what the designers had in mind, but it's made for some interesting racing today, that's for sure, and it's going to make for some interesting racing tomorrow.
I can assure you that's way away from where they had that design. They were planning on the cars being up against the wall coming out of there.
And we've caught up with Morgan Shepherd. Let's talk to him, Doc.
At the age of 70, walking out of the carousel, other than a little bruise on the hand, Morgan, you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. This is a shame. You know, first decent run that we was having this year, and I think we was 17th at the time. And the back straightaway, some of the guys would cut across the apron, and I think that's kind of what caused the wreck. The two went down across the apron and slid up in front of 38, and then everybody got together. And if you get up out of the groove, you can't get stopped. And I got up in the slick stuff, and I couldn't hardly slow down. So bad deal.
Morgan, you've been here all 30 years in this series. Do you go to Homestead and finish out the season?
Well, right now I don't have a motor. That was my motor that was going to run at Homestead. Our engine that's in the other car's got 900 miles on it, so I don't know if it'll go another 300, but we'll be down there. I run as long as I can.
Morgan Shepherd, 70 years of age, been here all 30 years of the NASCAR Nationwide Series, guys.
Yeah, if I had a motor, I'd loan it to him. He's been in this series a long time.
And he would have been at 17th. That would have been his best finish of the year. His best run was back at Las Vegas, where he came home in 18th. And you can see the guys back in Elliott's garage area with a torn-up race car and a broken dream.
Yeah, if he could have just missed that wreck, there's only 15 cars on the lead lap now. Just a few inches that he needed to miss it.
All right, let's reset it for you because Sam Hornish Jr. is looking to make a little history of his own to pick up his first Nationwide Series win. Brad Keselowski, his teammate, on the high side. Edwards, Logano in row 2. Then Boyer and Stenhouse in row number 3. And Ricky's got to be just thinking big picture right now, right?
Yeah, up on the outside, though, he is there. And I always wonder, when you have these red flag conditions and the tires cool down, the air pressures go down, what's the car going to do when you drive off in that first corner?
And they cross the stripe. It'll be 19 laps to go. Sam Hornish Jr. Remember, that sun is starting to set right in their eyes as they head into turn 1. Oh, and Sam spins the wheel.
Yeah, but he recovered very quickly.
I think he got a little nudge. I think Carl gave him a good kick in the pants. Here we go, back down across that line. That's Joey Logano in the 18. Remember, that's the battle for the Owners' Championship, side by side with he and Carl Edwards. Team Penske running 1-2. On board with Carl.
Yeah, nice job. You can see that outside line able to work really well there for Carl Edwards. He was able to clear Logano. Here comes Stenhouse.
Ricky taking a peek inside underneath Logano. On board with Ricky. Well, he's not satisfied to stay put. He's going for the spot. That's Clint Boyer in the 33 right behind him. Well, the last thing he needs to do is get swept up in something right now.
Yeah, that's what I'd be telling him if I was Mike Kelly as crew chief. Hey, man, let's chill out. Finish this thing off here because we got a big lead if we don't fall out of this race.
As it stands right now, it's 42 points. Dave, what are you hearing?
Before they went green, Marty, the same phrase came out twice to Ricky Stenhouse. Smart and smooth. Remember, he told us before the race started that he can't stop his aggressive nature. He's got to go for it as he keeps his position there in Boyer. But smart and smooth, they've tried to drum it into his head.
Yeah, I know, Marty, you keep saying he's got a 42-point lead, but they don't give out points until the checker flag. That's right. What I would be reminded. Look at this. Wow, hard racing going on.
Allgaier took Boyer up. High down in the middle of 1 and 2.
Stremme coming underneath the 33.
What a nice run for David Stremme here in that 70 car. Got that car up inside the top 10. Boyer might give him a little nudge right here to get that spot back.
That's the battle for 9th between those two. And there's Michael Annett. He'd like to get into that mix as well. And Ron Hornaday has worked himself into the 12th position. There you see him in the 32. The 87 of Joe Nemechek shown in 13th. They're side by side. And then Blake Cook, Rookie of the Year contender, running in 14th.
Yeah, nice run for Blake Cook here today, up inside the top 15.
See, Carl Edwards, if he could get clear of Brad Keselowski, he might be able to make a run at Sam Hornish, but I'm impressed with Sam Hornish. Sam's done a great job, and he looks like he's got a real good shot at winning this thing.
He sure does, and I think that Brad Keselowski is going to help him out as much as he can. Hold Carl Edwards back there if Brad can't get to him. Help his buddy out there, his teammate, see if he can get that first win.
I don't think Brad can get to him. I mean, Sam's car, he was pulling away the last time when the caution came out, and he's doing it again.
Yeah, he just ran the fastest lap that's been running this race. Sam Hornish did last lap.
27.2 seconds. As he continues to knock the laps down, Jamie Little, what are you hearing?
Well, Marty, anybody who's watched Sam Hornish Jr. race, whether it's an Indy car or a stock car, knows he likes the high side. On those last 2 restarts, he wanted the outside. You see Roger Penske, his boss on the left, he said, Sam, I haven't seen passing on the outside. I say you go to the inside. So Sam has done that 3 times now, and it has panned out. Remember, this is just his 32nd start in the NASCAR Nationwide Series. He's been a part-time driver. This could be his first win. Marty?
And as everybody knows, we've had those reports that he's going to be in the series full-time next year. The deal is not officially sealed, but boy, I'll tell you what, a win could help go a long way on that. Let's get an update on the man running in second place. How about it, Dave?
Pretty happy with this race car, and perspective is everything in racing. Listen to Brad talk about today's event.
I don't know, man. A lot of people said different things about this race. So far, I think it's been pretty good. I might be a little biased, but
Lots of racing for sure. The grooves are there, so that's good.
A very positive guy, and a guy, by the way, who passed way on the outside of this racetrack. As you guys mentioned, that'll be a good note for him in tomorrow's Cup race.
Yeah, he's been making his own groove today.
10 laps to go, separating Sam Hornish and Brad Keselowski from not only Sam's first win, but a 1-2 finish for Team Penske.
Yeah, the Penske cars have separated themselves now from Carl Edwards.
Yeah, and I know Sam Hornish has won the Indianapolis 500, but this would be big in his book to put this on his resume.
Stenhouse and Trevor Bayne, of course, picked up their first nationwide wins this year. And, of course, Ricky came back to sweep Iowa. Trevor picked his up last time out at Texas. This would be the 3rd first-time winner in the series.
Yeah, what makes this impressive for Sam is that he doesn't run this series on a regular basis, or hasn't run it this year on a regular basis, and he has really done a good job today.
Boy, he's laying down really good laps here. Just impressed with what he's doing with his race car. He just keeps being the fastest car out here right now. That's what you have to do. I know he's in the lead, but it's so easy to sometimes, when you haven't won, look in your mirror, get distracted a little bit by everything going on around you, staying totally focused here.
The lead is 0.7 of a second over teammate Brad Keselowski. Carl Edwards 3rd, Joey Logano 4th. What that means for the Owners' Championship, that team championship that we've talked a lot about, right now, the way it stands, that would be 1 point going into the final race at Homestead next week. And there is Trevor Bayne running, or I should say Ricky Stenhouse Jr., running in the 5th spot and doing a very nice job now of just saying, okay, this is about what I can do, and let's take it and run.
Well, he's got a nice cushion.
Yeah, and he could also help this Owners' Championship. If he could pass the 18, that'd be another point for the 60 team. Basically make it a tie.
Well, Ford clinched the Manufacturers' Championship in the series last time out at Texas. Trevor got his first win. That was 2 of their goals. The championship for Ricky is another one. And the Owners' Championship is the 4th.
I'm sure Mike Kelly's sitting down there thinking, let the 60 worry about that next week. He can do what he can do.
Yeah.
You just hang right there. He's got a nice little cushion between 5th and 6th. Nobody behind, close to Ricky Stenhouse there. So he's kind of ease around here.
All right, so now with 5 laps remaining, the lead is still 0.7 of a second. We're looking at the battle with Joey Logano there for a moment. There's the captain, Roger Penske. Has to be extremely happy having both his cars in the top 2 spots. And you got to believe Roger's got a little bit of pride also from the fact he has hung with Sam Hornish Jr. ever since bringing him over from the IndyCar Series, now with 4 laps remaining.
Beautiful, man. 37 to his 35.
You heard on the radio. That glimpse you saw there was Ryan Truex and Clint Boyer. That's 7th and 8th on the racetrack. But all eyes right now are focused on the number 12 of Sam Hornish Jr. A winner here at Phoenix in the IndyCar Series and now just 3 laps away from being a winner in the NASCAR Nationwide Series.
Well, we said it a number of times, this would be great. It's going to be great for his career right here, but if he can get something put together solidly for next year, another championship contender right here for next year in this series.
And Chad Walter is crew chief. He's a great, capable crew chief, too, and they've worked so well together. You can see they've had fast cars more than once this year.
There's Ricky Stenhouse Jr. still running in that 5th spot. Right now, it would be a 41-point margin. The magic number coming out of here is 48. 2 laps remaining here at Phoenix International. And there is Sam Hornish Jr.
And Brad's kind of sneaked up just a little bit.
Yes, Sam got held up by the lap car there, just a little bit, but he's not going to get to him. Just one more solid lap here.
Here we go. White flag is out. Just 1 mile remaining here on this new configuration for Sam Hornish Jr. to pick up his first win in the NASCAR Nationwide Series. Roger Penske on the left, looking on. Through the dogleg for the final time and into 3.
Oh, it's just been so solid. They took those 2 tires, and on the restart, he was able to jump out there, get the lead, and wasn't going to be denied of this victory.
Here he comes out of turn number 4, his first Nationwide Series win and a 1-2 finish for Team Penske. Sam Hornish, your winner. Brad Keselowski second, Carl Edwards and Joey Logano with Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in 5th place. So Ricky Stenhouse Jr.'s lead going into the final race will be 41 points. He cannot clinch it until next week. Now, the Cobalt Tools 500 at Phoenix is going to be tomorrow at 2 o'clock Eastern on ESPN. Coming up next here will be ESPN College Football Primetime presented by Miller Lite, Tennessee versus number 8 Arkansas. Now, we are going to be coming back to you on ESPN News with all of our interviews and post-race reaction. So stay with us. We'll talk to Sam Hornish Jr. and we'll see you over on ESPN News when we turn